You're listening to The Zone, ESPN Radio, 1600 AM, Cedar Rapids.
We now leave our network programming to bring you the following special sports presentation.
The history, the tradition, the fun of Kernels baseball.
It's time for exciting live coverage of Kernels baseball, right here on the Kernels Radio Network. Now, the voice of the Kernels. In his 11th season, here's John Rogers.
Welcome to John O'Donnell Stadium. It's a beautiful Saturday evening, and we're delighted that you're spending part of your Memorial Day weekend with us, enjoying the fun and excitement of Kernel baseball. And we've had plenty of that here at John O'Donnell the first two games of this series. Thursday night, Nick Adenhart pitched brilliantly, but lost his first game of the season 1-0 to Quad City ace lefty Jaime Garcia. And then last night, the Kernels got stellar starting pitching from right-hander Stephen Merrick and made 2 runs scored in the first inning and another in the 7th. Those runs held up in a Kernel 3-2 win over the Swing, and we're set for Game 3. And our guest on the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show is a fellow that knows this community very, very well. In fact, his finger is on the pulse of everything that happens in the sporting realm here in the Quad City Times sports writer Steve Batterson. And Steve, what a great time of year it is to talk, because now it's Memorial Day weekend and we kind of have a feel or a gauge of what this Midwest League first half is going to play out. And I think the consensus would be that there's no dominant team in the Western Division where the Swing and the Kernels are.
Yeah, I think that's very accurate. Yeah, it actually feels like baseball weather out here today with temperatures hitting in the 90s. King County certainly has been on a little roll here lately, and I think maybe they're making a move. But, this Western Division race is a pretty balanced situation, I think, for just from top to bottom, really.
Steve, I know that Davenport and the Quad Cities is Cub territory. There are some Cardinal fans because you're a Cardinal affiliate, and Illinois has its share in Iowa of Cardinal fans. But are you surprised that a guy like Jody Davis would want to get back into professional baseball as a manager in the Midwest League? First of all, he's done a great job, and he has a very fine temperament. But are you surprised the Cubs have Jody Davis managing in this league?
I'm surprised when anybody wants to put their livelihood in the hands of a bunch of 20-year-old kids. And obviously it's something Jody is interested in doing, and I think that's more power to him. And not unlike what the players are trying to do, this is a situation where Jody is trying to see if there's anything there in terms of ability to manage a club. And while some folks, feel like it ought to be handed to them, obviously Jody feels like he's going to have to earn his way back to the major leagues, which, he's done a nice job so far with the Peoria team. Quad Cities has just played them 3 times so far, and they have not been in here. But, it's interesting to have a name like that back in the league, and certainly somebody fans across the Midwest will easily recognize.
When he does bring his Chiefs in here, Steve, do you think it'll be a drawing card, his presence?
I think the Cubs are always a drawing card, and whether that be in the Quad Cities or in Cedar Rapids, not unlike when the Cardinals come to town as well. And there are enough, major league fans of those two clubs that in this part of the country that's enough alone, to get some folks out to the ballpark to see some prospects. To have a manager with a name like a Jody Davis certainly is only an added bonus, really, in that situation.
Steve Batterson is a fine sports writer who covers the Swing beat here in Davenport. He's with the Quad City Times, and he's our guest on the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show. Steve, it's always interesting to tell people about the namesake of this stadium, John O'Donnell Stadium. We read in the media guide that he was a fellow that covered sports here for 4 decades for your newspaper. Did you ever know him, and what do you know of him? It's quite a tribute that this stadium is named after John O'Donnell.
Yeah, this stadium actually opened for its first game 75 years ago this weekend, and was named in honor of John O'Donnell in 1971 on this very weekend as well. John was a longtime sports journalist. Never had the chance to meet him. He died in 1970. He became the sports editor of what was then the Davenport Democrat at the age of 23, a couple of weeks out of college at St. Ambrose. heroes. He was a longtime sports writer. He was also a game official. He was a Big Ten basketball, football official. He was a boxing referee. A guy with a very colorful and checkered past who really had his thumbprint on a lot of athletic activities around this community. And shortly after his passing, there was a real a sense of we need to do something to recognize this guy. And one of the things that John had done was during World War II, he wrote a column called Dear Joe, which was basically letters from home, which allowed soldiers from this area to communicate with each other from different parts of the world, and those papers were sent to those soldiers around the world with notes from their friends and that kind of thing. Really left a very strong impact on the community, and following his death, there was a real sense of wanting to do something to recognize what he brought to this community, and the stadium was renamed in his honor 35 years ago this weekend.
So this site, we've been playing baseball here for 75 years.
This weekend, yes. The place opened up, actually yesterday was the 75th anniversary, and it opened up with a game between Davenport Blue Sox and Dubuque in the Mississippi Valley League at the time. And it has seen 62 seasons of baseball. There were some off years during the war and that type of thing, but it's been home to a lot of good baseball history.
Steve, with the spectacular view of the river and then Rock Island and Moline across the river, do you think the Chamber of Commerce or the Swing would ever try to initiate a marketing campaign to great baseball cities like St. Louis and Chicago? Chicago is just, 3 hours away, and St. Louis probably 4.5. Would it behoove the Chamber of Commerce or the Swing to do a marketing campaign with pictures or a video and try to get people to come up en masse in a bus, baseball fan tours, or would that not be a wise marketing choice? Because I think it's worth it.
I think they have tried to do some things with the Twins. I know there were some Twins booster groups that when they were affiliated with Minnesota, they brought some folks down from the Twin Cities. They are doing some marketing things with the Cardinals right now. You can actually purchase a Cardinal ticket through the Swing for a game this season in St. Louis in conjunction with purchasing a package of tickets to Swing games. Certainly kind of a novel idea of tying the two clubs together and certainly encouraging people from here to go to St. Louis. And I would suspect that down the road you'll see that try to work in reverse as well. The Cardinal folks have been pretty busy with trying to open a new Busch Stadium and some things like that. But I think you can only look forward to more things like that in the future.
We're covering the bases with a fellow that has his finger on the pulse of what this community has in the way of sports, and it is a very, very big sporting community, the Quad Cities. We'll wrap things up with Quad City Times sports writer Steve Batterson next, here on the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show on the Kernel Radio Network.
Service second to none, South Slope Cooperative. We're here for your communication needs, internet service, telephone, and TV. As a cooperative telephone company, our members are owners, we make a good team. Service second to none, South Slope Cooperative Communications.
Turner Communications Triple Play, voice, video, and data with South Slope Cooperative in North Liberty. South Slope's lineup features everything that connects you to information. Digital wireless phones, long-distance plans, data home and business wiring, video conferencing, dial-up and high-speed internet service, fiber optic installation and termination, and digital video TV service in most areas. For all your communication needs, think South Slope. Visit them at southslope.com.
Before Game 3 of a 4-game Memorial Day weekend series here in Davenport, we're talking it over with Steve Batterson, Quad City Times sports writer. And Steve, we had to renegotiate our lease in order to make sure that we made our lease payments in our spectacular, wonderful new ballpark. And I'm not asking this question to stir the pot or dig up a can of worms, but it did make national headlines in the world of sports that there was some sort of a dispute between the ownership or the city or the stadium commission, whatever entities it was. Could you explain what it was all about and how it was resolved to everyone's satisfaction?
Sure. I think one of the things that, not unlike Cedar Rapids, when construction plans were put together, there were revenue projections made, and I think the situation was such that the revenue coming in wasn't exactly enough to cover the cost of the lease obligations. And so what the ownership of the club here has done has gone back to the city, which is the owner of the facility, asked to simply extend the lease over an additional period of years, reducing the payments.
That's what we did.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same type of thing. Reduce the payments to a level that the club can handle on an annual basis, and in exchange for lengthening the term of the club's lease with the city.
So there was no missed payment on the part of the swing, nor was there any. There's no danger that this thing is going to come to a head. Every cooler heads prevailed and a compromise or a deal was reached.
Right now where the situation is that the club is paid up to all of its obligations have been paid. There are some dollars that are kind of in dispute between the two parties. The club has paid those with the agreement that the city will take a hard look at whether or not who is actually responsible for those monies, and if it is determined that the city is responsible for some of the dollars that the ownership feels it is responsible for, then that those monies then will be credited to what the club owes down the road. The club right now is paid up. They took care of that last month. There was a deadline placed. It got taken care of about 20 minutes before the deadline reached, and at this point, it's baseball as usual. And people here are looking forward to hosting the Midwest League All-Star Game later on this summer for the 7th time it's been played here in the Quad Cities, and just baseball as usual.
Steve, thank you so much. Just to let you know, from an Eastern Iowa perspective, your writing and the sports section you put out is universally respected and admired in this day where journalistic standards aren't quite as high as what they used to be through no one's fault, especially the guys that do the writing like you. But I travel a lot in the off-season to various NCAA venues and see you covering the Fighting Illini and Iowa, and you do a great job. We'll talk later this summer. We'll get together again and ask you about where the allegiance of this Quad City area falls, if they're Hawkeye people or if they're Illini people, but that's a topic for another day. Steve Batterson, thank you so much.
Thanks. It's a pleasure of mine.
Steve Batterson, Quad City Times sports writer. We covered a lot of bases, and as you can tell, Steve really enjoys what he does and does a great job covering sports here in this community. Up next, I'll have Game 3 starting lineups, Kernels versus the Swing on this Memorial Day weekend. You're listening to the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show on the Kernel Radio Network.
Service second to none, South Slope Cooperative. We're here for your communication needs, internet service, telephone, and TV. As a cooperative telephone company, our members are owners who make a good team. Service second to none, South Slope Cooperative Communications.
Tuna Communications Triple Play, voice, video, and data with South Slope Cooperative in North Liberty. South Slope's lineup features everything that connects you to information. Digital wireless phones, long-distance plans, data home and business wiring, video conferencing, dial-up and high-speed internet service, fiber optic installation and termination, and digital video TV service in most areas. For all your communication needs, think South Slope. Visit them at southslope.com.
And welcome to Kernel Baseball. It's a Western Division rivalry that has gone on for the last several decades. The Kernels playing in Davenport, Iowa against the Swing of the Quad Cities. Game 3 of this Memorial Day weekend set that saw the Kernels drop Thursday night series opener 1-0 and then rally and to tie the series at a game apiece last night, a 3-2 win. In each of the first 2 games of this series, the Kernels have only been able to scratch out 5 hits. So hopefully the offense will perk up a little bit this evening and give right-hander Moose Mosebach some offense and some runs. The Kernel record stands now at 21-27. That's good enough for 5th place in the 8-team Western Division standings of the first half. Quad Cities is 19-26, just 1 half game back of the Kernels, and the Swing are in 6th place in the 8-team Western Division First half standings of the Midwest League. It's a delightful evening, warm, temperatures in the low 80s, and let's set the starting lineup first for Keith Mitchell in his first year at the helm here with Quad Cities and his St. Louis Cardinal minor leaguers, the Quad Cities Ball Club. Daniel Nelson will lead it off at third base. Nelson's tied with our own Brad Kuhn for the league lead in steals with 16. Batting second for the Swing at second base, Jose Martinez. Bryan Anderson will hit third and catch. Anderson's .316 average, fourth best in the Midwest League. The cleanup batter is tied for first in the league with 11 home runs, designated hitter for the Swing, Randy Roth. Batting fifth in left field, A.J. Van Slyke. Adam Rogers will be at first base and bat sixth for the Swing. Hitting seventh, Simon Williams, the center fielder. Chad Gabriel will be in right field for the second straight evening and hit eighth, and batting ninth, the shortstop, Luis Cotto. On the hill is right-hander Kyle Sedlowski. Sedlowski has won 2 and lost 1. This is his seventh start of the season. He began the year in the bullpen for Quad Cities. Sedlowski's ERA 4.09. The Kernels beat Kyle 7-2 in our ballpark just a week and a half, well, actually almost 2 weeks ago, May 16th, and he only lasted an inning and a third, giving the Kernels 5 runs on 3 hits, striking out 1, walking 2. Kyle Sedlowski, a 6'3", 195-pounder, St. Louis's 34th round pick last year out of Kutztown University in Pennsylvania. Allen Motor Company, as always, is proud to sponsor the Kernels starting lineup. Allen Motor Company has a fantastic offer they'd like you to know about. Your first year's maintenance is free on Allen's if you buy now a 2005 Buick LeSabre, 2005 Buick Century, or 2006 Buick Rendezvous. Your first year's maintenance is on Allen's. It's free. Visit Allen Motor Company, I-380 and Boyson Road, exit 25 in Hiawatha, or their virtual showroom online. That's their website, www.allenmotor.com, ALLENMOTOR. The Allen Motor Company Colonel starting lineup, Game 3 of this 4-game Memorial Day weekend series, has shortstop switch hitter Heinle Stacia leading off. Brad Kuhn scored a run, drove in a run in last night's Colonel 3-2 victory. Kuhn will be in center field and bat second. Hitting third for the Colonels, he leads the league with 38 RBIs. Jordan Wren's in right field. The Colonel cleanup batter in the Allen Motor Company starting lineup is third baseman Dallas Morris. Flint Whipke will get the start at first base, and Whipke will bat fifth. Hitting sixth, the designated hitter Mark Trumbo. In left field, batting seventh, Stantrell Smith. Hitting eighth and catching this evening, Brett Martinez, and the Colonel's second baseman, Larry Infante, will bat ninth. Rounding out the Allen Motor Company Colonel starting lineup, on the hill, 21-year-old right-hander out of Hillsborough Community College in Tampa, Moose Mosebach. Moose has won 3, lost 2, an ERA of 3.16. He was a 6-4 loser his last time out. That was Monday at home against the Kane County Cougars. The Swing have taken the field. They're in their road uniforms this evening. We'll have more about that as the evening progresses. Here from the banks of the Mississippi now, though, let's pause to honor America as a female soloist will sing the Star-Spangled Banner. Our biggest crowd of the series is on hand here at John O'Donnell Stadium for Game 3 of a 4-game Memorial Day weekend series pitting the Kernels against the Swing of the Quad Cities. Our umpires have taken in the lineup cards from Colonel Skipper. Well, actually, the two players brought out the lineup cards this evening, and our umpires are sponsored by Anderson and Brown Eye Care. Their new location on Boyson Road in Hiawatha makes it easy in, easy out. Anderson and Brown Eye Care has evening and Saturday hours for your convenience. Their building and exam rooms are wheelchair accessible. Anderson and Brown Eye Care, your full-service comprehensive eye care center where you can have your eyes examined and then pick out your glasses and or contact lenses right on site. Spectacular Saturday evening for baseball. As you heard Steve Batterson, our South Slope Communications Triple Play Show guest, say, this is the very weekend 75 years ago that this stadium opened. And the first baseball game featured the Davenport Blue Sox playing the Dubuque Packers in Mississippi Valley League action. So this venue has stood the test of time, and we're certainly thrilled to be with you here tonight. We're right above home plate and watching swing right-hander Kyle Sadlowski take his final warm-up tosses. Now, an unusual set of circumstances arose as the swing equipment man and their owner got their signals crossed with the Colonel General Manager Jack Rader. We thought we were to wear our white uniforms here tomorrow and that the swing would be wearing their road uniforms in the series finale tomorrow. That's not the case. The swing are in their gray road trousers tonight with their burnt orange Texas jerseys, burnt orange hats, burnt orange socks with baby blue numbers on the back, and the Kernels are in their regular gray road uniforms with red trim, and the only people this might affect slightly would be the umpires because of the similarity in gray road pants. And Ron Pline, our equipment manager, much to his consternation, he came up before the game and said, well, John, they blew it, and I'm not sure. I said, Rhodey, who blew what? And he said, well, the swing told us that they'd be wearing their road uniforms tomorrow, but they're wearing them tonight. The game's first pitch is headed home to Colonel switch-hitting shortstop Heinle Stacia. And it's a strike from Kyle Sadlowski. We're underway at 7:03, and this is Colonel Baseball on ESPN Radio 1600 KCRG Cedar Rapids. Heinle was 1 for 3 last night. He walked and scored in the Colonel 2-run first, and then he doubled with 2 out and scored on Brad Kuhn's triple in the 7th inning. That turned out to be the run that made the difference in the game. Ball one outside, and now Heinle fooled on a changeup, swings and misses, strike 2. Daniel Nelson was in on the grass at third. Now he backs up to even with the base, and he's about 12 feet off the third base line. Heinle loops the next pitch foul into the screen, and the count remains 1-2. We had plenty of action this afternoon on the State Farm Major League scoreboard, and we'll give you those scores as we roll along here in the top of the first inning. Great to have you with us. Stacia pops the next pitch foul off to the left. State Farm Insurance agents Brad Dunn, Gary Schubat, Dale Thompson, and Al Shetler sponsor our look at the afternoon games on the State Farm Major League scoreboard. At Wrigley Field, the Braves won another one-run decision as they nipped the Cubs 2-1. Ooh, a fastball from the swing right-hander just missed inside, and it's 2-2 to Heinle. 273 hitting Colonel leadoff batter. No homers, 9 RBIs. Collected his 13th double of the year last night. The outfield plays Heinle to hit the other way. The switch hitter batting left takes outside ball 3. It's been a terrific at-bat for Stacia. At RFK Stadium, the Nationals bowed to the Dodgers 3-1. The Mets knocked off the Marlins at Dolphin Stadium in Miami 7-4 today. Stacia pops it down the left field line, racing across the line in foul ground and diving headlong into the swing bullpen, but coming up short, A.J. Van Slyke. Listen to the hand the crowd gives A.J. for that fantastic hustling effort. Van Slyke knew the ball hit by Stacia, batting left-handed, would be tailing away from him. But that didn't slow A.J.'s motor down. He went darting across the left field foul line, skidded chin first into the swing bullpen, and just couldn't quite get there. The next payoff pitch to Heinle is lifted in the air to left. This will be routine as Van Slyke retreats in front of the track. A.J. with his glasses down makes the grab. So Stacia flies to left. That ball got up into the wind, which is blowing very briskly from the shores of the Mississippi River in from right center field towards the swing third base dugout. Here's Brad Kuhn. The last final of the National League from this afternoon, Petco Park in San Diego. The Cardinals shaded the Padres 4-3. Brad Kuhn had a big night last night. Reached base all 4 plate appearances. Ball one low, a fastball. Brad walked and scored in the Colonel 2-run first inning, then delivered that 2-out RBI triple in the 7th that gave the Colonels a 3-0 lead and a 3-2 win. A fastball over but low, and it's 2-0 to the Colonel left-handed hitting speedster Brad Kuhn. Straightaway stance. Brad wears a pair of white batting gloves, and Sidlowski's 2-0. Here's a strike. Brad was taking all the way. In the American League on the State Farm Major League scoreboard, the Royal winning streak comes to a grinding halt. They won last night in the Bronx, but this afternoon the Yankees clobbered Kansas City 15-4. Kuhn takes outside a fastball. And at Rogers Center in Toronto, it took 11 innings for the Blue Jays to make it 2 straight over the White Sox, 3-2 Toronto. Everything else later tonight. Brad's ahead 3-1, and there's strike 2 at the knees. Both Colonel hitters have forced Kyle Sidlowski to run the string completely full. A 3-2 pitch now. On its way to Brad. Swing and a tip foul off the shin guards of the catcher, Bryan Anderson. It's unusual to look out into center field and not see Colby Rasmus. Colby's like Brad Kuhn. He plays virtually every game for the Swing like Brad does for the Colonels, but Simon Williams is in center field, and he's shading Brad Kuhn to hit the other way. A slow, deliberate windup and another payoff pitch, and this one is rattled foul into the backstop. Well, the Colonels are making Kyle Sidlowski, S-A-D-L-O-W-S-K-I, earn his keep here in the top of the first inning. Here's the third payoff offering. Swing and a tip foul into the glove of Bryan Anderson. That was an 84-mile-an-hour fastball, but Brad could not put it in play, and he goes down swinging for the second out here in the Colonel first inning. Colonel's batting .244 as a team. That's 10th in the 14-team Midwest League. But on the road, the Colonels are hitting a meager .238. Our record on the road, 10 wins, 15 losses. Here's a high pop-up off the fists of Jordan Renz. An easy play for the shortstop, Luis Cotto. Cotto has it with a one-handed grab. Jordan Renz, swinging at the first pitch, was jammed, and he popped up to short to end the Colonel first inning. And the Colonels go 1-2-3, nothing across in the first half inning. Great to have you with us here from Davenport. I'll tell you what, we talked with the fine Quad City Times writer, Steve Batterson, and Steve and I scratched our heads and said, why don't the Swing and the Chamber of Commerce here in Davenport or the Quad Cities market to great baseball cities like Chicago and St. Louis and organize caravans or baseball fantasy trips? This setting is absolutely spectacular, and since we're only a 75-minute drive away, perhaps you can include us in your Memorial Day night plans as we play the series finale here tomorrow at 7. After one half inning, Colonels nothing. Swing coming up here on the Colonel Radio Network.
Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to the ballpark every Wednesday this season. You heard right. Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to Veterans Memorial Stadium every Wednesday this season. The first 750 of you Colonel fans to enter the gates before Wednesday's home game will receive an envelope full of money inside from Fairfax State Savings Bank. Each of those 750 envelopes will contain a greenback up to a $100 bill. Fairfax State Savings Bank, free money Wednesdays. Come early to line your pocket with cash.
Meet Jim. Well, it's nice how he spends weekends in his yard trying to kill weeds.
Gotcha.
Meet Dave. He spends weekends on the green. That's because Greg's Lawn Service takes care of his lawn. Mowing, fertilizing, pruning, and, yep, weed control. Greg's does the big jobs, too. Landscaping, retaining walls, curb edging, and patios. So when you've had enough of those little devils...
Aha! Yes!
Call 393-0101. Greg's Lawn Service, a cut above the rest.
Hi, I'm Tanya Sedlock, your local Pekin insurance agent at Andrews Insurance here in Cedar Rapids. We all know how quickly life can change. You buy a new car or a new home. Your family is blessed with a new baby. Your teenager starts driving the family car. I'm here to help with a complete line of insurance plans to give you protection when you need it the most. Pekin Insurance has been in business of insuring people for 85 years. I'm here to put your interests first. Please visit me, Tanya Sedlock, at the Andrews Agency.
Moose Mosebach is set to go against a very tough leadoff batter for the Swing, who's 5 for 9 in this series, Daniel Nelson. The little fire plug at 5'10", 180 is out of Los Angeles Pierce College. Cut the Colonel 3-0 lead to 1 with a 2-out, 2-run single in the 8th that came off of Ryan Aldridge. The 2 runs were charged to starter Stephen Merrick, but those were the only 2 runs the Swing scored as the Colonels won at 3-2. Daniel Nelson takes the first pitch inside and now laces a pitch foul over the third base suites here at John O'Donnell Stadium. There's no grandstand roof here. It's open air and one of the most spectacular settings for baseball in all of the sport. Nelson is hitting .269, 2 homers, 13 RBIs. And he chops one foul right at his feet for strike 2. Daniel Nelson, tied with our own Brad Kuhn with 16 stolen bases. Nelson was 3 for 4 last night. He's hit safely in all 6 games between our 2 ball clubs. And the Kernels and Swing have split 6. Nelson sets himself on the left side. The lower half of his bat is caked with pine tar. And he shoots one hard to first baseman Flint Whipke. It took a tough hop. Flint had to adjust quickly and thrust his mitt over the bill of his red cap, and he snared it, then stepped on the base for the unassisted putout. Oh, Daniel Nelson hit a one-hop bullet that almost hopped over the head of Flint Whipke, who's playing first base this evening. But Flint was able to adjust and make a good play. One away for Jose Martinez. Martinez fouls the first pitch back right over our heads. 400 feet to dead center here at John O'Donnell, a navy blue padded wall 12 feet high, and above it is a 20-foot high black net that serves as the batter's eye. Moose misses low and away for ball 1. Stantrell Smith is playing extremely deep in left. Jose Martinez has hit 2 home runs against the Kernels this season. And he based one into shallow center. Kuhn has to play it on one hop. It's a 1-out single for Jose Martinez. And the game's first hit belongs to Quad Cities. 1 on, 1 out for Bryan Anderson. Boy, the Cardinals have to be so pleased with Anderson. I mentioned in the series opener Thursday night, the Cardinals traded a highly regarded catching prospect to Oakland in the deal that brought St. Louis Mark Mulder. The Cardinals traded Derek Barton and starter Danny Herron. But here's Bryan Anderson, a 4th-round pick out of California, 19 years old, and he's hitting .316, 4th highest average in the league. He loops one into center over the head of Heinle Stacia, and good base running by Jose Martinez. He wasn't sure if Anderson's drive would get over the head of Heinle. It did by about 1.5 feet, and the Swing have struck for a pair of back-to-back singles here in the bottom of the first inning. They're threatening to take an early lead. Anderson went down and got that pitch in on his hands and was strong enough to fist it over the head of the outstretched reach of Heinle Stacia, the shortstop, into center. 2 on, 1 out, and the Kernels could use the pitcher's best friend, the wholesaler, a double play. Randy Roth, 0 for 4 last night. Strong right-handed batter, and he looks at a strike, a fastball from Mosebach. The Colonel outfield plays this power-hitting cleanup man, Randy Roth, straight away. Randy has an extremely wide stance. Here's a throw to second as Larry Infante snuck in to the left of the lead runner, Jose Martinez, but Jose dives back head first safely. Just a beautiful summer-like evening here in Davenport. 2 on, 1 out for Quad Cities. And here's a drive smacked into center. Kuhn misjudged it, and it goes deep to center. Kuhn back and has it. Now Brad throws to second. Double play! Brad Kuhn has done it all in this series. With the bat, on the bases, in the field. The toughest ball, they say, for a center fielder to gauge is one hit hard right at him. Kuhn broke in, then had to hustle back with his back to the plate. I thought the ball was going to sail over his head, and perhaps 2 runs would have scored. But Brad caught it. Remarkable speed and athleticism. Randy Roth's drive was caught, and then... well, Jose Martinez thought the same thing I did. Martinez thought no way could Kuhn make up that ground when he misjudged it and broke in, but Brad caught it and then whirled and threw a strike in the air to Larry Infante, and the double play goes 8-4 to end the swing first inning. No runs for Quad Cities, 2 hits. There were no Colonel errors. We wanted a double play. We didn't think it would be that exciting, and the swing leave 1 man aboard. And after 1 inning, it's the Colonels nothing, Quad Cities nothing. You're enjoying Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
There's a lot you can do to satisfy your taste for Italian. You can marry one.
Do you, Susan Smith, take Giuseppe Valentino?
You can drive one. Or you can go to Zio Giano's and feast on Zio's homemade bread, pizzas, and pasta, authentically prepared in Zio Giano's famous Italian style. Zio Giano's for the hometown taste of Italy.
Come to Zio Giano's, the pasta makes you Zio. Come to Zio Giano's for real Italiano. Come to Zio Giano's, the pasta makes...
What do I get at Cost Cutters? Hey, my hair is my trademark. I gotta be able to count on a good cut and stuff to keep my hair looking thick, even if it's not.
I get a good cut, no long wait, a smile, and a little something left over in my wallet.
I get little trims that keep my hair long and healthy, and stuff to make it loose and curly one day, straight and sassy the next.
With expert stylists trained in the latest trends and techniques and your favorite professional styling and hair care products, you'll always get what you're looking for at Cost Cutters. At Cost Cutters, you can always count on convenient, affordable, professional care and products that help you create just the style you want. At Cost Cutters, you'll always get a little more.
What do I get at Cost Cutters? A slick, clean cut, great highlights, and a little wig from the hottest stylist I've ever seen.
More of what you're looking for. Just yourself.
Brad Kuhn starts a terrific double play with a catch in center and a throw back into second. Dallas Morris takes a strike. Now Dallas drills one into the right center field alley, but on the run, Simon Williams lassos it in. An 0-1 pitch, and Dallas Morris, whose strength is into right center, made a bid for a leadoff extra base hit, but it was turned aside on a running catch into the right center field alley by Simon Williams. 4 in a row retired by right-hander Kyle Sadlowski. Kyle's making his 7th start of the year, has a 2-1 record, is allowed only 26 hits in 33 innings. He misses low and away to the Colonel first baseman, Flint Whipke. Sadlowski has struck out 22 in 33 innings and walked 17, a 4.09 ERA. The 1-0 to Flint is a strike, a fastball. Whipke batting .252, 1 homer, 13 RBIs. Flint tried to become the first Colonel to reach against this swing right-hander, who fires a strike at the knees. Flint backs out. I think he was a little bit upset with the call by the plate umpire. Whipke didn't play in last night's Colonel 3-2 victory here. The catcher sets up on the outside half, and that's where the changeup goes in the dirt for ball 2. Kyle Sadlowski's last start came here at John O'Donnell Stadium last Sunday against the Clinton Lumber Kings. He was not involved in a swing 6-5 11-inning loss to Clinton. Not involved in the decision, that is. He misses low and away, ball 3. In that start, Kyle Sadlowski pitched 5 innings, gave Clinton 3 runs on 5 hits, struck out 1 and walked 2. The payoff pitch to Flint. Swing and a miss, a high fastball, 84 miles an hour according to the speed pitch indicator, the lower panel of the scoreboard in left center. Well, one of the things that makes this ballpark so attractive, and there are many, are the grass slope seating berms above the left center, or above the left field wall and the right field wall. That wall is only 8 feet high, and it's part blue pad, part screen or net. A changeup is low to mark Trumbo for ball 1. The grass slope seating berm in right field is within a stone's throw of the Mississippi River. Here's a drive into deep center, sending Simon Williams back, and he has it. Mark Trumbo laced it to deep center. The Kernels hit 2 balls real well here in the second inning, but nothing to show for it, and that's 6 in a row retired by 21-year-old right-hander Kyle Sadlowski. After an inning and a half here in Davenport, it's the Kernels in swing, scoreless. And this is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
With spring comes a sound we're all familiar with, lawnmowers. The Solid Waste and Recycling Department encourages you to mulch your grass this year, though instead of bag. It's a practice known as grass cycling. Why grass cycling? Well, it saves time because you don't have to rake or bag your grass clippings. But it also saves money because those clippings contain essential nutrients, reducing your need for expensive fertilizers. Best of all, grass cycling helps to save landfill space. Do your part. Grass cycle. This message from the Solid Waste and Recycling Department.
Now's the time to get started with your spring planting with a visit to Peck's Flower Shop and Garden Center. For the very best plant selection and all the expert advice you'll need to make your plants grow their very best, visit Peck's. The greenhouses at Peck's are bursting with colors, gorgeous hanging baskets, rose bushes, patio plants, and blooming annual plants. Peck's has the newest, best bloomers for sunny and shady areas and the best producing tomato, vegetable, and herb plants. If your spring planting includes new landscaping, contact Peck's for an estimate. Choose your landscaping plants and trees from Peck's acres of expertly cared for trees, shrubs, evergreens, and perennial plants. Visit Peck's Flower Shop and Garden Center, where Peck's knowledgeable staff is ready to answer your plant and gardening questions. Peck's Flower Shop and Garden Center, celebrating 50 years of growing with our community. Bottom of the second, and it's the Kernels nothing, Quad Cities nothing. It's 3:43 down the left field line here at John O'Donnell Stadium, 3:18 down the right field line, and as we mentioned last night, 4 large advertising panels are embedded into the left center and right center field walls. A.J. Van Slyke grounds one to the right of Larry Infante. Larry shows great range in moving to his right, gloving, and then throwing off balance to get A.J. Van Slyke. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the second inning as A.J. Van Slyke made a bid to ground one up the middle, but boy, Larry Infante has really played well defensively for the Kernels this season. 1 gone here in the Quad Cities second inning. Adam Rogers, a strong, husky right-handed batter, now at the plate, and he lines the first pitch foul out of play down the right field line. Those big advertising panels are protected by a plastic sheath, and as I say, they're embedded right into the left center and right center field walls. They rotate, much like our Tri-Vision signs do at Veterans Memorial Stadium. A powerful-looking motorboat is trawling above or out in the right, beyond the right center field wall, and swatting one into right, where Jordan Renz doesn't have to move a step to make the play, is Adam Rogers. Adam Rogers flies to right, 2 away here in the swing second inning, no score. San Francisco Giant fans would say, quit raving about the Mississippi River. We've got McCovey Cove. But I'm telling you, this picturesque panoramic view of the Mississippi River, I'll put it up against all the beauty of SBC Park in San Francisco. Simon Williams is the batter. He breaks his bat and squirts it to first. Easy for Flint Whipke. Flint has it, takes 4 steps to his left, plops down on the base, and an easy 1-2-3 inning. Only 4 pitches had to be made by Moose Mosebach to retire the swing in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Quickly, we move to the top of the 3rd, and the Kernels and swing 0-0 here in Davenport. And this is the Kernel Radio Network.
Diet Pepsi is taking you to the movies. All kinds of movies, like horror films.
Hey, there's a guy with a hockey mask outside. Let's go see what he wants. Okay.
Sci-fi films.
Gentlemen, we're in luck. Those aliens speak American.
Kung fu movies.
Your English voiceover looks terrible. Taste my nunchucks.
Oh.
Teen flicks.
I am so ugly. Well, you'd be hot if you ditched your glasses and your nerdy side ponytail. Oh my gosh, I am hot.
Foreign films.
Le French fries, the French toast.
Le baguette, le bougelet.
Bougelet croissant.
Crime films.
So did you find anything?
Only this computer disk labeled totally incriminating evidence.
Well, keep looking.
Introducing the Diet Pepsi box office promotion. Find a code in specially marked Diet Pepsi packages. Collect and enter codes at dietpepsiboxoffice.com to redeem for a movie ticket, even to action movies.
Well, the bad guy's dead. I'll just turn my back. I can't believe you fell for that.
Light, crisp, refreshing Diet Pepsi.
Subject to official rules, void where prohibited. N 63006. Multiple purchases required. See website for redemption details.
Imagine the convenience of accomplishing your next real estate transaction under one roof. Buying a home, selling a home, or securing the right mortgage loan are simple and worry-free at Todd Financial Services. Todd Financial Services knows that you've worked hard to be able to make the dream of home ownership a reality. Todd Financial Services understands that people do business with people they trust. You can count on Todd Financial Services to put you and your needs first so that your real estate transactions are pleasurable.
Kyle Sedlowski, a second-year pro, 21 years old, out of Kutztown University in Pennsylvania, is ready to face the lower 3rd of the Kernel order here in the top of the 3rd inning. No score. Stantrell Smith played an integral role in the Kernel win last night. He singled to right on an 0-2 pitch in the 1st to drive in the 2nd run of that Kernel 1st inning. And Stantrell looks at strike 1 on the outside corner. The sun is not a factor except in the outfield here now. The entire infield is enveloped in shadows as a changeup is way outside. 1-1 to Stantrell. Smith in 15 games, batting .244. No homers, 5 RBIs, 2 triples. Right-handed batter. And he breaks his bat and rolls one weakly to second base where Jose Martinez is up with it and throws on to first, and there's one away here in the Kernel 3rd inning. 7 in a row retired by Kyle Sedlowski. Sedlowski started 6 games, relieved in 5 others with the New Jersey Cardinals last year. 0-4 was his record with a 7.91 ERA. He pitched in 3 games with the Johnson City Cardinals in the Appalachian League and was 1-1. Brett Martinez had one of the Kernel 5 hits last night. Uses a white ash bat, and there's strike 1 at the knees to Brett. Martinez singled with 1 out in the 9th inning last night. Brett, a 24th round pick of the Angels in 2002. This is his 4th year of pro ball. And a fastball is low and away from Sedlowski. We're back at home for a 4-game set with the Burlington Bees starting this coming Friday. The gates open at 6, a 7 o'clock start. Curve, and that one's lifted in the air to right center. Simon Williams drifting over to his left, waits and has it. That's 3 putouts for the swing center fielder, Simon Williams, and it's 8 in a row retired by the swing right-hander. This coming Friday is Pat McGrath's Chevyland used car night. That means if you're 18 years or older with a valid driver's license, you could be one of 3 Kernel fans to drive away from Veterans Memorial Stadium in a Pat McGrath Chevyland used car. Larry Infante swats the first delivery foul into the screen. Kernel's looking for their first base runner. The Kernel equipment manager is looking skyward in the first base dugout. Boy, he really surveys the scene no matter where we are. A pitch in the dirt goes to the screen, and a ball 1 to Larry Infante. Larry's batting .181, no homers, 6 RBIs, 5 doubles. Infante, a left-handed hitter from Venezuela, does not wear batting gloves. And ball 2 is just inside a fastball. Infante, in 65 games with the Dominican Summer League Angels last year, hit .342. He jackhammers one into the right field corner, and it's a sinking, diving catch, a sinking liner, a diving catch by Chad Gabriel to rob Infante of an extra base hit. Well, 2 outstanding defensive plays, Brad Kuhn for the Kernels and Chad Gabriel of the swing. I thought for sure when that ball left the bat of Larry Infante, he had himself an extra base hit, but Chad Gabriel came on, dove headlong, and took a hit away from Larry Infante. 3 perfect innings for swing right-hander Kyle Sedlowski. Moose Mosebach back to the mound here in Davenport. Kernels nothing, swing nothing as we go to the home half of the third. You're enjoying Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Don't you wonder sometimes how all those companies who claim to be the best can actually be the best? Doesn't just one of them have to be the best? When it comes to motor coach travel, Tri-State Travel is the best. We have the highest safety rating, the largest variety of coaches, a trained driving staff, and 66 years of experience. Don't you want to travel with the best? That would be Tri-State Travel, now at our new location on 7th Street Southwest.
Hi, this is John Rogers, the voice of the Kernels. I'd like to share a few words with you about Kernel team physician, orthopedic surgeon Dr. David Terse. My father was a surgeon, and like most sons, I looked up to him as the greatest dad and the best doctor on earth. When I was diagnosed with a torn meniscus in my right knee recently, I wondered if my doctor here in Cedar Rapids would measure up to my dad's standards. My doctor was Dr. David Terse. Dr. Terse's thorough and expert explanation of my x-ray, his calm and reassuring description of the procedure he would be performing, and his kind and confident bedside manner impressed me beyond my expectations. Dr. Terse has those exceptional qualities we all hope to find in our doctor: an established reputation of excellence, the ability to communicate with us so that we understand and trust his words, and that gut feeling that he truly cares about us. Dr. Terse is a world-class surgeon and a first-class person. I've experienced firsthand why the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, the Kernels' parent ball club, has entrusted Dr. Terse to care for our players.
Here's a bouncer to deep third, and what a play by Dallas Morris to get it across the diamond, but not in time. It's a fair ball and an opening to the third of an infield single for Chad Gabriel. Now the Kernels are going to argue that that ball was foul. Dallas Morris thought it was foul. Bobby Magianis has not come out to question the plate umpire, so they're going to stick with the call, a fair ball chopped over Dallas's head behind third. They're going to show it on the instant replay board, and, well, perhaps they already did, and I missed it. But Chad Gabriel reaches on a Baltimore chop infield single to open up the swing third inning. Luis Cotto may be playing hit and run here. Runner not going. The Kernels thought a hit and run was imminent, so a pitch out, ball 1 to Luis Cotto, a right-handed batter. Dallas Morris's throw faded on Flint Whipke, the first baseman. Flint had to come off the base. Otherwise, Dallas's one-hop throw from midair, I think, would have had Chad Gabriel. Here's a throw to first. Gabriel, with 1 steal and 3 tries, is back standing up. The swing on a second, only to the Kernels in stolen bases this year. They have 59 stolen bases. The Kernels with 68. Cotto takes upstairs, ball 2, a fastball. Quad Cities is a very good hitting team. They're tied for second in the league with a .262 team average. Even more dangerous here at home. They're batting .276. Fastball, strike 1 on the outside edge. Cotto was taking all the way. Luis is batting .246. No homers, 7 RBIs. This is a fellow that's been in pro baseball since the year 2000. Originally taken by the Kansas City Royals in the 8th round back in 2000. He's from Puerto Rico, Luis Cotto, so obviously he was educated stateside to be drafted. The runner goes, and a pitch is fouled up into the backstop, and it's 2-2 now to Luis Cotto. Cotto was hit by a pitch leading off the third against Stephen Merrick last night, but he was erased on a line drive double play started by shortstop Heinley Stacia. Luis was 0-for-2. He has a pronounced open stance. Mosebach's 2-2 offering. Swing and a miss. Moose with a slider down and away records his first strikeout of the game. 1 on, 1 out, and the top of the order for Quad Cities, Daniel Nelson, who bounced out hard, a one-hopper to first baseman Flint Whipke in the first inning. We're sorry to have to report that Colonel third baseman Travis Schlichting has been put on the disabled list. Travis is suffering from a sore right knee that he wrenched as he slid into second, trying to steal the base in the first game of this series on Thursday night. And the Colonels will be expecting outfielder Tyler Johnson to join them. According to the Colonel equipment manager, he may show up in uniform tonight, or he may be on the Tri-State Travel Motor Coach drive home. And our heartfelt sorrows go out to Travis. It's not a career-threatening injury, but certainly serious enough for an MRI to have to be performed to see if there's ligament damage. First pitch to Daniel Nelson. Breaking ball, letter high, a strike to the switch hitter. And the Colonels will get a look at a new hurler, Andy Hill. He'll pitch the series opener Memorial Day afternoon at 2 o'clock in Clinton. Andy Hill takes the place of Colonel starter Kelly Shear, who will undergo season-ending Tommy John surgery this spring. Look out! Daniel Nelson drilled in the side with a Moose Mosebach pitch, and that puts runners at first and second with 1 out here in the third inning. Daniel Nelson is the 6th batter that Moose Mosebach has struck this season. Brett Martinez, with his red shin guards and red chest protector, paid a visit to the hill. So for the second inning, in 3, the Swing have runners at first and second with 1 out. And Jose Martinez, who singled into center his first time up, will try to put Quad Cities ahead. Martinez has both of his wrists heavily taped with white athletic tape. A fastball is a strike at the knees. A special hello to the Broussards. They're the host family of Moose Mosebach. Carrie and Anna are the daughters of Kelly and Dave Broussard. A towering pop-up into shallow center. Infante and Stacia out. Kuhn in. Look out! Look out! Oh, brother, the Colonels made it. Why do you have to turn a pop-up into such an extravagant display of lack of communication? Larry Infante caught it in right center, thankfully. Kuhn rammed into him, knocked his hat off. Larry took a pretty hard spill onto the grass, but he held on. Come on, guys. That's something that is just a sheer... Well, let's look at the positive. All 3 guys were hustling, but that could have been a botched play. Jose Martinez pops out to shallow right center. Stacia and Infante were backpedaling, and I guess Kuhn didn't call them off, or they disregarded his I got it. Now a swing and a miss by Bryan Anderson. The rule of thumb is if the outfield or the man coming in with the play in front of him can make the catch, he calls off the infielders who are in a much more vulnerable and awkward position backpedaling into the outfield. 2 on, 2 out for the 3-16 hitter Bryan Anderson, and Mosebach delivers a strike 2. Moose pitched 7 2/3 in his last start Monday at home against Kane County, yielded 5 runs in 7 2/3 on only 4 hits, struck out 7, walked 3. He was hung with a 6-4 loss. The 0-2 to Anderson, high as Mosebach wasted 1. Chad Gabriel opened this third by reaching on an infield single past third. After Cotto struck out, Daniel Nelson was struck by a pitch. Jose Martinez then popped out to shallow right center where Infante collided with Brad Kuhn. Here's a bouncer up the middle. Heinley Stacia reaches down, snares it, and throws the batter out. That ball took a bad hop on Heinle right behind the base. Heinle had to adjust, reach down to glove it, and then he missed second base trying to force Daniel Nelson, but threw on the run from the right field side of second to get Bryan Anderson, the batter, and Moose Mosebach prevents the swing from scoring and taking the lead here in the third inning. No runs for Quad Cities. One hit, their third of the evening, a hit batsman. There were no Colonel errors. In the swing leave a pair. They've stranded 3. We go to the top of the fourth already here in Davenport, and it's still the Colonels nothing, the Swing nothing. You're tuned to Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
Cedar Rapids' oldest wholesale greenhouse is also Cedar Rapids' full-service landscaping and lawn care center. Cedar Rapids Greenhouses has been serving eastern Iowans for 50 years at the corner of Johnson Avenue and Edgewood Road behind Guppy's on the Go. Cedar Rapids Greenhouses has a full line of trees and shrubs like magnolias, maples, and lilacs. And for a limited time, buy any potted tree and Cedar Rapids Greenhouses will deliver and plant it free. If they're searching for the right beautification project, let the trained landscape designers at Cedar Rapids Greenhouses help you create a unique plan for your home. From retaining walls to ponds, waterfalls, and fountains, they'll work within your budget and taste, and they do free estimates. Lawn care featuring mowing, fertilization, seeding, sodding, aeration, dethatching, maintenance, and cleanup are all done with care and precision. For the highest quality and low prices, see the difference at Cedar Rapids Greenhouses, Eastern Iowa's full-service landscapers at the corner of Johnson Avenue and Edgewood Road.
Hi, I'm Phil Andrews, your local Pekin insurance agent at Andrews Insurance in Cedar Rapids. I'd like to introduce you to an easy-to-understand, affordable life insurance plan with great benefits. It's simplified issue whole life from Pekin Insurance. The plan requires no medical exam, has guaranteed rates for life, and a guaranteed cash value. Life insurance made simple and affordable from Pekin Insurance. To learn more, contact me, Phil Andrews, at Andrews Insurance.
Daniel Nelson, the third baseman for the Swing, is cheating in on the grass at third, expecting Heinle Stacia to try to bunt his way on. The Colonels looking for their first base runner of this game. Heinle takes high, ball one. Stacia flew out to left. In the first inning, no score, top of the fourth. Heinle rips one foul, hooking into the Colonel bullpen, and that'll wake up the troops. If any of those guys were stargazing or daydreaming or thinking of the post-game meal, they aren't now, as Stacia scattered them in the right field bullpen. 1-1 to Heinle. A week from tonight, Alliant Energy will present a dazzling fireworks show at the ballpark. Gates open at 6. The game starts at 7 for Alliant Energy Fireworks Night a week from tonight. A let-up is downstairs, and it's 2-1 to Stacia. Kyle Sadlowski has retired the Colonels in order in the first 3 innings of this ball game. And a one-hopper punch to short, backhanded by Luis Cotto, and he throws out Heinle Stacia. The throw almost pulled Adam Rogers off the base. It was to the right field side of the bag, but that's now 10 straight retired by Kyle Sadlowski. This is a fellow the Colonels knocked out in the second inning at home May 16th. He went an inning and a third and gave up 5 runs on 3 hits, struck out 1, and walked 2. He's mixing up the speeds of his pitches very effectively, is Sadlowski. A breaking pitch to Kuhn is a strike. Brad flashed bunt and took it for strike 1. Then a week from tomorrow, Sunday, June 4th, Bird Zirk will be at the ballpark. A chopper to second. This will be 11 in a row for Kyle Sadlowski as Jose Martinez sidearms to first. And 2 gone here in the Colonel 4th inning already. Bird Zirk will be at the ballpark on Sunday, June 4th, and Perfect Game will be presenting baseball cards to the first 1,000 of you Colonel fans. It's a family fun Sunday, a week from tomorrow, Sunday, June 4th. Popcorn's only $1. The Colonels will sign autographs from 1:20 until 1:40. And you can run the bases after the game both Saturday night and Sunday afternoon thanks to Velocity Sports Performance. Ball 1 downstairs to Renz. Now Jordan swings at a breaking pitch and misses, strike 1. The pace of this game is fast. The lights have just been turned on. 2 out, nobody on here in the top of the 4th as Jordan Renz hits a can of corn into shallow center. Coming fast, Simon Williams. He's there in shallow center, and Simon has it to end the Kernel 4th inning. 12 up and 12 down as the Kernel offense continues to be very, very non-productive through most of this first half of the season. 12 Kernel batters have been retired in succession by right-hander Kyle Sedlowski. Moose Mosebach charges back to the mound, and after 3.5 here at John O'Donnell Stadium, it's still the Kernels nothing and Quad Cities nothing. You're listening to Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Reading stimulates a child's imagination, increases their mastery of subject matter, improves their spelling and vocabulary, and opens up new worlds of discovery. That's why Toyota Financial Services, the Gazette, and the Kernels are teaming up to encourage elementary students throughout the community to read. Kernels players will visit 38 elementary schools this spring to talk with students about the benefits of reading. Girls and boys will then be rewarded with nifty prizes for achieving reading milestones. Toyota Financial Services, the Gazette, and the Kernels, proud to stand behind our community's youth through reading.
Next up, a musical taste of Dr. Pepper. It's a new spin on an old vibe from me to you. A tasty sip of Dr. Pepper for your ears, and it starts like this.
I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, she's a pepper, we're a pepper, wouldn't you like to be a pepper?
Now that's cool, but pepper is a little better. So let's slide in a taste of this.
I'm a pepper,
Right on. But there's still more to it. I mean, there's nothing like it, because every sip is a kick and mash up of 23 different flavors. So for the true taste of Dr. Pepper, we dial it up even more.
I'm a pepper.
You know it. With 23 flavors mixed into one bold taste, every sip is a cool mix of music to your mouth. Dr. Pepper, there's more to it.
Randy Roth, the swing leadoff batter, opens up the 4th in this scoreless Game 3 of a 4-game series, and Moose misses inside for ball 1, and now Mosebach's next pitch is rolled foul behind the dish. Randy Roth lined into a center field to second base double play back in the first inning. Roth bats from a low crouch and shoots it into right center for a base hit. One hop, it almost got underneath the glove of Jordan Renz on that backhanded play by Jordan. Randy Roth has the 4th hit of the game for the swing as he lined it into right for a leadoff single. Halo happenings, results from around the Angel organization yesterday at the top level. Former Colonel Scott Shields earned the victory in relief. And Mike Napoli, former Colonel, came through with an RBI single as the Angels dumped Baltimore 5-2. Vladimir Guerrero had an inside-the-park home run for the Angels. Here's a high fly ball off the end of the bat of A.J. Van Slyke into right center. Brad Kuhn dashes in and calls off Jordan Renz to glove it. 1 on, 1 out here in the 4th inning. You would think we were under some sort of curfew to get this game done by 9 o'clock this evening. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning, and the game is only 45 minutes old. At AAA Salt Lake, the Bees were toppled by the Las Vegas Stars at Cashman Field 8-5. Or not Las Vegas Stars. They haven't been called that in several years. They're the 51ers, aren't they, Todd? Stephen Shell, former Colonel, gave up 6 runs on 10 hits in 5 innings in the Salt Lake 8-5 loss to Las Vegas. 0-1 pitch, and it's pounded foul off the left foot of Adam Rogers. He goes down in a heap, now pops to his feet, and is trying to walk off with pain. He walks a third of the way up the third baseline. Now he's on the grass outside the dirt batting circle, trying to recover from pounding a pitch off his left foot. He's in the hole as Adam Rogers, 0-2. No score. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning here at John O'Donnell Stadium. How about Rafael Rodriguez? Former Colonel right-hander earned his first Texas League win with 7 innings of shutout 4-hit baseball. Bill Edwards, former Colonel starter from a year ago, notched his second save of the season. Matt Pauley was 2 for 4 with a run driven in as the AA Arkansas team won. Here's a changeup, wasted low and away. A good stop by Brett Martinez as Randy Roth, unlikely to do any running, holds it first. Kevin Jepson continues to thrive as a closer for Rancho Cucamonga. The Quakes are 2 games above 500 in the California League. 25-23. Rancho whipped Stockton last night 4-1. And Kevin Jepson got his 6th save. Here's a line drive to second. Infante has it, throws in behind Randy Roth for a double play. Adam Rogers hit it squarely, right on the button, drilled it to Larry Infante. Larry didn't have to move an inch, stabbed it, and then whipped his throw to first baseman Flint Whitkey for the 4-3 double play, and that ends the swing 4th inning. That's the second double play turned by the Kernels tonight. No runs, a leadoff single for Quad Cities in the 4th. There were no Kernel errors, and an inning-ending double play, the second turned in an unconventional manner by the Kernels tonight. Our Bruce Moore Bonanza questions coming your way when the Kernels bat in the top of the 5th inning, looking for our first base runner of the evening. Our Bruce Moore Bonanza comes your way next here on the Kernel Radio Network.
We're here for your communication needs. Internet service, telephone, and TV. As a cooperative telephone company, our members are owners who make a good team. Service second to none, South Slope Cooperative Communication.
Get ready for summer and beat high gas prices with a pre-owned vehicle from Randy Keel Honda. Their inventory is jam-packed with fuel-efficient vehicles designed to save you money. Get an economical sedan for your daily commute, or indulge your sporty side with a high-performance coupe. Randy Keel Honda carries a large selection of Honda certified pre-owned vehicles, backed by a 12-month, 12,000-mile comprehensive warranty and 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Need to haul the entire family? For a limited time, you can get special financing on Honda certified pre-owned Odyssey. Whatever your driving needs, Randy Keel Honda has the vehicle for you. Visit Randy Keel Honda on Centerpoint Road Northeast or online at randykeel.com. Randy Keel Honda, where they treat you right.
4 innings have whisked by here in Davenport. The Kernels do not have a hit or a base runner against Kyle Sadlowski. Dallas Morris swings at a changeup right in on his hands and misses strike 1. Dallas flew out to center his first time up. Hit it well into right center where Simon Williams made the play. Time now for you to log on to the Bruce Moore website. Here's a high fly ball into shallow right center. Williams coming on, gives way to the right fielder, Chad Gabriel. 1 gone here in the 5th. 13 Kernels have fallen by the wayside to start this game. If you've already been a winner in our Bruce Moore Bonanza, congratulations. Please don't email us this evening, but certainly play along with us wherever you're tuned in. 2 passes to the Outdoor Children's Theater production of Cinderella and a Bruce Moore souvenir book will go to our Bruce Moore Bonanza winner tonight. Log on to www.brucemore.org, BRUCEMORE.org, and you'll email me with your name and address and answer to our Bruce Moore Bonanza, John at Kernels.com. JOHN at Kernels, KERNELS.com. We'll have the Bruce Moore Bonanza question for you after this 1-1 pitch to Flint Whitkey. Can Flint become the first Kernel to reach base? No, as he bounces it to third. Daniel Nelson at third baseman gloves it and throws out Flint Whitkey. 14 in a row have been retired by Kyle Sadlowski. He's toying with the Kernels right now. Here's our Bruce Moore Bonanza question. With what event do children help Leo the Lion solve a mystery at Bruce Moore on June 5th and June 12th? With what event do children help Leo the Lion solve a mystery at Bruce Moore on June 5th and June 12th? That's our Bruce Moore Bonanza question. 2 away for Mark Trumbo here in the 5th, and a breaking pitch low and away. You'll find the answer to our Bruce Moore Bonanza question on Bruce Moore's website. The 1-0 to Trumbo. Low and away, ball 2. www.brucemore.org, BRUCEMORE.org, and then you'll email me your answer along with your name and address to john@kernels.com. A high pop foul on a 2-0 pitch, straight back. Off the bat of Trumbo makes it 2-1. With what event do children help Leo the Lion solve a mystery at Bruce Moore on June 5th and June 12th? Email me now, JOHN, John@Kernels, KERNELS.com. No score, 2 out in the Colonel 5th inning, nobody on. Swing and a miss by Mark on a high changeup. Trumbo flew out to deep center to end the Colonel's 2nd inning. Sadlowski has struck out 2, walked none, and has not allowed a base runner in 4 2/3. Ball 3 in the dirt. Meanwhile, Moose Mosebach has blanked the swing through 4 innings on 4 hits. And we're scoreless in the top half of the 5th inning. 3-2 to Trumbo. Cracked hard through the hole left side. That's a 2-out single for Mark Trumbo. And the Kernels have their first base runner of the evening aboard with 2 out here in the top of the 5th inning. Mark grounded it sharply past the diving Luis Cotto deep in the hole at short. A.J. Van Slyke gets it back in, and the Kernels have their first base runner and first hit here in the top of the 5th inning. Our Bruce Moore Bonanza question: with what event do children help Leo the Lion solve a mystery at Bruce Moore on June 5th and June 12th? Ooh, almost an eephus pitch, a changeup, and it fooled Stantrell Smith, who swung and missed. Your reward for answering our Bruce Moore Bonanza question correctly: 2 passes to the outdoor children's theater production of Cinderella at Bruce Moore, and a Bruce Moore souvenir book. Smith swings at a changeup and misses, strike 2. That seems to be the bread and butter pitch tonight, at least, of Kyle Sadlowski, that off-speed pitch. And you can throw a changeup for strikes and then mix in your fastball. You can be a pretty tough customer to solve. A throw to first, and Trumbo dives back in safely. Mark has 1 steal in 4 attempts. Your emails are accepted now at john@kernels.com to answer our Bruce Moore Bonanza question. Swing and a miss, and Stantrell Smith is the 3rd strikeout victim of Kyle Sadlowski. He fed Stantrell 3 changeups. No runs in the 5th for the Kernels. A 2-out single by Trumbo, our first base runner of the game. There were no swing errors. The Kernels leave 1 man aboard, our first stranded of the game. After 4.5 innings, it's the Kernels nothing and Quad Cities nothing. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Whether you're a serious athlete or a weekend warrior, injuries can take you out of your game. Smart athletes know that Physiotherapy Associates in Cedar Rapids are the experts in the treatment and prevention of sport-related injuries. Our expert staff serves the metro and surrounding area high school athletes. Physiotherapy Associates of Cedar Rapids, the smart choice in sports medicine. Call us at 398-1569. That's 398-1569. We'll get you back in your game today.
Training and the highest quality craftsmanship in the world are 2 hallmarks of union workers. Prospective construction clients can depend on workers who have learned their craft and mastered their skills through the Cedar Rapids Iowa City Building Trades and Construction Council World-Class Apprenticeship Program. These experienced tradesmen will work with sign contractors to bring flexibility, efficiency, safety, and the highest skill and quality in the world to all building and construction projects. Eastern Iowa works best when we say union, yes.
Technology pervades every aspect of our daily lives. This remarkable age we live in has a machine or a computer to meet almost all of our needs. but you won't find a technological device that can provide you with the personal attention for something as important as insurance. Neighbor Insurance Services, your professional Pekin insurance agency in Hiawatha, is trained on all insurance matters, including how much coverage is enough coverage. For personal attention to all of your insurance needs, see the insurance professionals at Neighbor Insurance Services in Hiawatha.
Lots of great promotions coming up before the All-Star break, including a Father's Day brunch on Sunday, June 18th. It's also the Principal Financial Family Fun Fest at the ballpark on Sunday, June 18th. Dads, actually this message would go to wives, moms, kids. Treat Dad to brunch at the ballpark on Sunday, June 18th from 10 until 1. Leading off for the Swing in the bottom of the fifth in a scoreless game is Simon Williams. He took a ball, and now Moose Mosebach fires a strike. A bouncer to deep short, backhanded by Stacia. He comes straight over the top with his throw. Not in time. The speedster Simon Williams legs it out for a leadoff infield single. Oh, brother. Williams bounced it on 3 hops to deep short. Backhanded by Stacia. Heinle did everything humanly possible, threw a strike to first, but Simon Williams beat it out. That Father's Day brunch is on Father's Day, Sunday, June 18th, the Principal Financial Family Fun Festival. A traveling baseball festival outside the ballpark will open at 11. The Father's Day brunch from 10 until 1 on Sunday, June 18th. Todd Brummelkamp is helping me out with some important information about the 2 upcoming Kernel baseball camps. They're also before the All-Star game. And, boy, are those ever a lot of fun. I remember one lady telling Jack Rader, our mom telling Jack Rader, our general manager, a pitch out, and Simon Williams was not running. Ball 2 to the batter, Chad Gabriel, who singled his first time up. Mom came up to Jack Rader and said, "You guys need to charge more money for these baseball camps." And Jack said, "Well, gee, we never really thought about them in that way." And she said, "Well, it isn't a criticism, it's a compliment. The instruction and the fun that my son has is worth hundreds of dollars." Here's a deep drive to left, and it could give the Swing a 2-0 lead. Yes, it does. 2-0 Quad City. Chad Gabriel with his first home run of the year onto the grass slope seating berm, and Quad Cities leads it 2-0 here in the 5th inning. And with our offense stuck in low gear, this could be enough to vault the Swing home to victory tonight. Chad Gabriel, a 2-run homer with Simon Williams aboard. That home run, only the 3rd surrendered by Moose Mosebach this year. First of the year for Chad Gabriel, who's 2 for 2. Quad Cities now leads it 2-0 here in the bottom of the 5th with the bases empty and nobody out. Luis Cotto struck out his first time. Curve just missed outside to Cotto. Boy, it's tough to go out there every night and not have a run with which to work. And that's just been the lot of the Kernel starting pitchers this year. They just can't get any support from their teammates to get any kind of breathing room. Therefore, you can't make a mistake. Ordinarily, you give up a 2-run homer in the 5th inning in a game, and, hey, it's not a huge deal. But when you're not scoring, it is a pretty big deal. Now ball 3 as Moose Mosebach is visibly rattled by that 2-run homer by the number 8 hitter, Chad Gabriel. We'll tell you the details on the camps that are upcoming. A high fly ball into right has Jordan Renz moving to his left. Jordan's there and has it. 1 gone here in the 5th inning. 2-0 Swing. The baseball camps are a long-time tradition at Veterans Memorial Stadium. Kernel players, coaches, and staff conduct them, and they'll work on basic baseball fundamentals with kids, girls and boys, 7 to 10, June 8th, 9th, and 10th. Morning hours, 9:30 to 12:30. It's just $100. Here's a Baltimore chop to second, and throwing out Daniel Nelson is Larry Infante. 2 away here in the 5th inning, 2-0 Swing. Campers, for just $100, you'll not only receive baseball knowledge and expertise from the Kernel coaching staff and Kernel players, but you'll receive a T-shirt, lunch every day, 4 tickets to a Kernel game on the last day of the camp. You'll be recognized on the field prior to the game. And the camp for youngsters 7 to 10, girls and boys, is June 8th, 9th, and 10th. And then the camp for kids 11 to 14 is June 14th, 15th, and 16th. And you can learn more about it by logging onto our website, www.kernels.com, or call Seth Dorn, who's conducting the camps, at 363-3887, 363-3887 for the Kernel baseball camps. Here's a line shot into right, a 2-out single for Jose Martinez. And that's the 7th hit of the night for the swing. Martinez is 2 for 3. Well, we stumped you again on our Bruce Moore Bonanza question. We'll take one final look if any new emails have come in, but boy, I'll tell you, that Bruce Moore website is so user-friendly, and we'll try it again tomorrow evening. We wanted you to email us with what event children can help Leo the Lion solve a mystery at Bruce Moore on June 5th and 12th, and a couple of really neat rewards, 2 passes to the outdoor children's theater production of Cinderella and a Bruce Moore souvenir book. But we'll give you that Bruce Moore Bonanza tomorrow evening and hope that you can solve the question by logging on to Bruce Moore's website. It's a lot of fun to do. A swing and a miss by Bryan Anderson. It's 1-1. An infield single and a 2-run homer by, of all people, Chad Gabriel, his first of the year, onto the grass slope seating berm, which is occupied this evening by several dozen families. Here's a line drive that falls in front of Jordan Renz, and speeding to, Renz dropped it, but gets it back in. Speeding to third is Jose Martinez. And it looks like Kernan Ronan may have to pay a Mercy Medical Center, have a heart-to-heart conversation with Moose Mosebach to get him through this 5th inning. That's the 4th hit of the inning for Quad Cities. They've now out-hit the Kernels 8-1 and lead it 2-0. Randy Roth lined into a double play and singled to right in the 4th inning, lined into a double play in the 1st. No Mercy Medical Center heart-to-heart conversation between Kernan Ronan and Moose Mosebach. Yes, that camp, those baseball camps are June 8th, 9th, and 10th for kids 7 to 10, June 14th, 15th, and 16th for kids 11 to 14. And the best place to learn about it is our website, www.kernels.com. Twilight turning into dusk here on this gorgeous Saturday night in Davenport. The Swing have runners at the corners with 2 away. Randy Roth at the plate. Fastball from Mosebach is a strike called. The Kernels began play tonight 1 half game in front of Quad Cities with a record of 21-27. The Swing are 19-26. Roth hammers one to deep left. Stantrell Smith back. It's over his head, off the wall. 2 runs are in to make it a 4-0 game on a double by Randy Roth high off the left field wall. 4-0 Quad Cities. Boy, did Roth tee off on that one as he jackhammered it over the head of Stantrell Smith. And I don't think Moose Mosebach has recovered from that 2-run homer by Chad Gabriel earlier in this inning. The Swing have really teed off on the Kernel 21-year-old right-hander to the tune of 4 runs on 5 hits. Randy Roth drilling his 12th double of the year over the head of Stantrell Smith. And the 8th man to bat here in the Quad City 4-run 5th inning will be A.J. Van Slyke, left-handed batter. On the positive side, Moose is throwing strike after strike. He hasn't walked a batter tonight, struck out 1 and hit 1. Van Slyke 0 for 2 so far tonight. Lifts one into left center. On the run is Kuhn. Brad is there. Oh, no! Collides with Stantrell Smith and holds it. Now, that's an indication. What is going on out there, guys? Come on! That shouldn't happen. Kuhn rams into Stantrell Smith on the dead run and holds the ball. But that is indicative of the lack of communication by these fellas. You're a team, guys. You got to play together. Stantrell Smith racing to his left and Kuhn to his right. Somebody has to yell, I got it, I got it, I got it, and take control. And the Kernels are darn lucky, A, that Smith and Kuhn aren't still on the ground injured, B, that Kuhn held on to the smash by Van Slyke, and they need to regroup. You can't be playing as an individual. You have to play as a team. In the fifth inning, 4 runs for Quad Cities on 5 hits. There were no Kernel errors, and the Swing leave 1 man aboard. I mean, it's one thing to hustle, and I'm all for hustle, but you don't ram into each other like that. That's why you practice and why you communicate and why you get your signals straight before an inning starts, so you avoid those shattering collisions that can result in injury. And, oh, brother, well, I'll leave it to the Kernels to get that aspect of the game straightened out. After 5, it's Quad City 4, the Kernels nothing, and you're enjoying Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
In today's work world, knowledge is power. Training for modern job skills is opportunity and security. And you have one of the best choices for your future right here in eastern Iowa. It's Kirkwood. Kirkwood Community College offers over 100 degree programs to give you new job opportunities or a smart start on your college path. Find out more today. Call Kirkwood Admissions, 398-5517. Kirkwood. Start here. Go anywhere.
Hi, I'm Papa John, and when I say better ingredients, better pizza, I'm not talking about a little better. I'm talking about a lot better. Let's talk about our pizza sauce. It's made from fresh, fine-ripened tomatoes, not from concentrate. But when it comes to ingredients, we select from the world's best. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. A lot better.
Call your neighborhood Papa John's today and ask for the Home Run Special, a large, thin, or original crust pizza with up to 3 toppings for $10.99. Just $10.99.
Great teams consist of diverse talent. Rockwell Collins understands this and is committed to developing diversity in our community. We recognize that our leadership in the aviation and communications electronics industry hinges on attracting and retaining a diverse workforce. And we're working with other Iowa companies to create an environment that nurtures diversity. Rockwell Collins. Different thinking makes us great. Great thinking makes us different.
Brett Martinez leads off the Kernel 6th and a 2-0 count, a strike called to Brett. Brett flew out to center in the 3rd inning. Kyle Sadlowski with a very deliberate windup and a pitch inside. Ball 3. Well, they say the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th time through the order you should make adjustments and learn what the pitcher has and doesn't have, and that gives the Kernels reason for hope tonight. Here's a smash on 2 hops underneath the shortstop, Luis Cotto's backhanded attempt. Brett Martinez reaches, and I think that'll be an error charged to Cotto. Although Martinez hit it hard, they have charged Luis Cotto with his 4th error of the year. Luis kind of laid back on his heels and tried to play that one on his backhand. He let it leak under his mitt, and that could be the start of a Kernel rally here. 4-0 swing as they teed off to the tune of 5 hits, a 2-run homer by Chad Gabriel, a 2-run double by Randy Roth in the 5th inning. And let's see if the Kernels can claw their way back into this one. Larry Infante had an extra base hit taken away from him in right by Chad Gabriel his last time up. Larry drags the punt up the first base line, and he's tagged out by the first baseman, Adam Rogers. Infante will be credited with a sacrifice, even though he was bunting for a base hit. The play went Rogers unassisted. Adam charged that bunt and had to really tag Infante hard as Larry was sprinting to Rogers' left. It's a sacrifice bunt by Larry Infante. And for the first time tonight, the Kernels have a runner in scoring position. Tim Madison was working in the Kernel bullpen during Moose Mosebach's tough 5th inning. Tim is no longer warming up. Here's a high pop foul off to the left by Heinle Stacia. Yes, that Kernel baseball camp is quite an experience. Whether you have a son or daughter, they'll be in great hands with Colonel Manager Bobby Magallanes, Colonel coaches and players. It's fun and instructional. Ball one is low to Heinle Stacia, who was flown out to left and grounded out to short. Martinez at second. One away here in the top of the sixth inning, 4-0 Quad Cities. There's a drive into right. On the run is Chad Gabriel, and it drops for a base hit. Gets by him. Speeding around third is Martinez. They're going to wave him home, and the throw to the plate. Brett is out at the plate. Out at the plate. I'll be darned. Another Colonel lost on the base paths. And Stacia stays at first base. I'm not sure why he's there. Oh, brother. Heinle Stacia credited with a base hit into right. The ball got by Chad Gabriel. And how Heinle didn't advance to second, I'll never know. And then, meanwhile, Brett Martinez had to wait at second to make sure the ball would drop in front of Chad Gabriel. It did. Martinez tried to score, and he was thrown out. Get this, the throw went to second. That's the swing. Thought Martinez would stop at third, and the throw went to the second base bag, and it was heaved in, I believe, by the shortstop, Luis Cotto, and the out goes 8-6-2. 8-6-2. My goodness. Well, oh boy. Here's Brad Kuhn taking a strike on the outside corner. Still not sure why Stacia stopped at first, although the throw did go to second. So that begs the question, why did Martinez try to score? He was waved home and was out by about 5 feet trying to slide into the catcher, Bryan Anderson. A high drive into the left center field area. The left fielder grazes or moseys over to his left and catches it to end the inning. Brad Kuhn flies to left. Well, back to the drawing board as far as the fundamentals go for the Colonels. We've really hurt ourselves tonight. No runs in the sixth inning. One hit. There was one swing error, and the Colonels leave one man aboard and have stranded two. But with the situation as it is, the Colonels are fortunate to still be in the game, having been out hit 9-2 and played sloppily in the field and on the bases. It's still only 4-0 swing as we go to the bottom of the sixth inning. This is Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Phil Andrews, your local Pekin insurance agent at Andrews Insurance here in Cedar Rapids. Even though we all do our best to stay healthy, we can never anticipate when an illness or accident might strike. Couple that reality with rising medical costs, and the importance of a top-notch medical plan becomes clear. Pekin Insurance offers a wide choice of deductibles and a non-tobacco user discount. To explore the major medical insurance plan that best fits you, visit me, Phil Andrews, at Andrews Insurance.
Hi, this is Dave Town of Five Seasons Transportation and Parking. Do you ever wonder if it's safe to send your child on the bus? It is, and here's a few reasons why. All the buses in Cedar Rapids are equipped with security cameras, so the drivers always know what's happening behind them. The buses also have global positioning systems, or GPS, which means they can be tracked at any time by satellite. Does that surprise you? It shouldn't. Five Seasons Transportation takes safety very seriously, and we've taken many steps to make sure your child will have a safe, easy ride every time they take the bus. Even when your child isn't on the bus, Five Seasons Transportation is helping keep them safe by using pollution-free biodiesel and alcohol fuels, Iowa products that help keep the air clean. And if your child is ever in trouble, they can always flag down a bus for help. I'm Dave Town, and I like to think of the bus as a traveling safety cocoon, motoring along Cedar Rapids streets. And keep in mind, if the bus is that safe and easy for your child, maybe you should think about riding the bus to work. Affordable, convenient, and safe. That's the bus. Ride it.
The numbers 6, 7, and 8 men in the Quad City lineup will face right-hander Moose Mosebach as we go to the bottom of the sixth inning. And Moose misses low and in. Adam Rogers had to step away. Quad City sent 8 men to the plate, and they scored 4 runs in the bottom of the fifth inning. The Colonels had a chance to score for the first time in the sixth inning, but Brett Martinez, who reached on an error, was thrown out trying to score on a base hit into right by Heinle Stacia, and that really deflated the Colonels in terms of their comeback aspirations in that sixth inning, the top of this inning. A 2-0 is a strike at the knees to Adam Rogers, a .254 batter, a home run, 16 RBIs. He steps out. Rogers uses a black lacquer bat. And a fastball is upstairs from the Colonel right-hander. Moose Mosebach has not walked a batter tonight. Adam Rogers is out of Rice University. The Swing are in their road uniforms tonight, of all things. Their burnt orange Texas jerseys with orange socks. And Rogers fists the 3-1 pitch foul past third, backhanded by Dallas Morris. And I don't mean to paint too bleak a picture here. It's only 4-0, and the Kernels are certainly capable of scoring in this game. You just hated to see Brett Martinez, who had to wait at second base before he knew that Chad Gabriel couldn't get to that ball hit by Stacia. Then the ball got by Gabriel, and that's what made me scratch my head in disbelief, as not only was Martinez thrown out at the plate, but Heinle Stacia stopped at second base, or at first base. Strike 3 called on Adam Rogers. Moose Mosebach showing that he's not going to give an inch, even though this game has not gone his way so far. That's Moose's second strikeout. Simon Williams got the big 4-run fifth inning started for the Swing with a infield single. Ball 1 is low to Williams. Simon played here last year. He's out of the University of Maine. The New Englander takes low for ball 2. Simon was a Cardinal 11th round pick last year, or 2 years ago rather, and he hit .287 for Quad Cities last year with 8 stolen bases. Williams taps the next one foul, and it's 2-1. The Colonel pitching staff is ranked right in the middle of the Midwest League with a 3.56 earned run average, 7th of 14 teams. Ball 3, low and outside, a fastball. Now Simon fouls it straight back for strike 2. Moose Mosebach lost to this Quad City team on May 17th, 5-1. But Moose sure deserved a better fate. Simon Williams lifts it on the infield near the bag at second. Heinle Stacia tiptoeing around and in front of second base. Puts it away. Simon Williams is popped out to short. 2 gone, and I have to say now that fifth inning is the 4-run fifth by the Swing. Really has to be a matter of Moose Mosebach losing his composure just a little bit, because Moose has come back here in the 6th inning and gotten behind a couple of hitters 3-1 and come back to get him. So after that 2-run homer by Chad Gabriel, Mosebach got the next 2 swing batters, but then the next 3 got hits and 2 more runs scored. A bouncer to first. Flint Whipke, a dandy play on a short hop, and Flint waves off Moose Mosebach, takes the play himself. It's a 1-2-3 inning for the Kernels and right-hander Mosebach. Well, that a way to go, Moose. The Kernels are still in this game thanks to Moose's competitive drive. Down in order go the Swing in the bottom of the 6th inning. We head to the 7th, and the Kernels trail Quad Cities 4-0. This is Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
Get ready for summer and beat high gas prices with a pre-owned vehicle from Randy Keel Honda. Their inventory is jam-packed with fuel-efficient vehicles designed to save you money. Get an economical sedan for your daily commute, or indulge your sporty side with a high-performance coupe. Randy Keel Honda carries a large selection of Honda certified pre-owned vehicles backed by a 12-month, 12,000-mile comprehensive warranty and 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Need to haul the entire family? For a limited time, you can get special financing on Honda certified pre-owned Odyssey. Whatever your driving needs, Randy Keel Honda has the vehicle for you. Visit Randy Keel Honda on Centerpoint Road Northeast or online at randykeel.com. Randy Keel Honda, where they treat you right.
When you're in the market to buy or sell a home, how can you differentiate one realtor from another? The distinction is clear when you consider the remarkable offer that Dick Ramsey of Skogman Realty makes. Dick Ramsey's offer is unprecedented. Buy one of Dick Ramsey's homes, and Dick Ramsey will buy yours. That extraordinary pledge bears instant replay. Buy one of Dick Ramsey's homes, and Dick Ramsey will buy yours. For the best home buying or home selling experience in Cedar Rapids, turn to the home team. Skogman Realty's Dick Ramsey.
Well, the heart of the Kernel order here in the 7th inning. 4-0 swing. It'll be Renz, Morris, and Flint Whipkey to face Kyle Sidlowski, who has not walked a batter, struck out 3, and shut the Kernels out on 2 hits through 6 innings. A long way to go in this one, though. Renz grounds one, foul past third. Bobby Magallanes does not argue with the plate umpire. Strike 1 on Jordan. Last night, the Kernels won the game 3-2 despite striking out 15 times. And that is a segue into our baseball fun fact. The Miracle Mets, only they could pull this one off in 1969 at Busch Stadium against Steve Carlton. September 15th, the future Hall of Famer was pitching for the Redbirds. He struck out 19 New York Mets, but lost the game 4-3 on a pair of 2-run homers by the Mets' Ron Swoboda. It was just that kind of year for the Miracle Mets. Carlton fanned the New York side 4 times, struck out at least one batter in every inning, but lost the game despite striking out 19 Mets in 1969. Ball 3 outside to Jordan. Well, you know how many big innings start with a walk. Jordan's not up there to walk, but if it's not a good pitch, he'll let it go by. The 3-1. And it's dribbled foul behind home plate. Biggest crowd of the series here tonight at John O'Donnell Stadium. The bleacher section, which parallels the left field line, is 40% full. And the blue seats that comprise the grandstand are well occupied as we play Game 3 of this series. Jordan fights off a pitch in on his hands and fouls it back. The swing scored 4 in the 5th inning. A 2-run homer, his first of the year by Chad Gabriel, and a 2-out 2-run double by Randy Roth. That's what really hurt, the 2-0 lead compared to a 4-0 lead. Renz is jammed, and he checks his swing. The pitch rattles off Jordan's handle and rolls foul. The count remains 3 balls, 2 strikes. In my 11 years in the league, I don't think I've ever called a Sunday night game, but we will have one for you tomorrow. There's ball 4. Jordan Renz is the first, or just the second Kernel to lead off an inning by reaching. Brett Martinez reached on an error by shortstop Luis Cotto to start the Kernel's 6th inning. Jordan Renz is aboard with a walk here in the 7th. And even though the Kernels trail 4-0, I wouldn't put it beyond Bobby Magallanes to hit and run with Dallas Morris. Renz doesn't have great speed, but when you're not hitting, as the Kernels aren't right now, you have to try to do different things to score runs. A breaking pitch in the dirt, blocked by Bryan Anderson to prevent a wild pitch. Ball 1 to Morris. Little did the Cardinals know that when they traded Steve Carlton to the Phillies for Rick Wise, that Carlton would go on to become one of the top 3 left-handers in baseball history. A bouncer to second should be a double play. Second baseman to short, 1 on to first, double play. That's why I was hoping we'd try a hit and run. When you're not hitting, you have to try those hit and runs. Dallas Morris bounces into a 4-6-3 twin killing. 2 gone here in the Kernel 7th inning. And yeah, you could backfire. You could hit into a double play. The batter could miss the pitch and Renz could be thrown out at second. I'm not saying that a hit and run is easy or foolproof, but you kind of have to try those things when you're just not scoring runs. Ball one is low and away to Flint Whipkey. And also, I understand Bobby doesn't want to take the bat out of his cleanup batter's hands, so I'm not questioning Bobby Magallanes. I'm just letting some frustration out at this Kernel pitching staff. I feel bad for them because the offense just hasn't quite been able to carry their share of the load yet this season. Flint Whipkey on a 1-1 pitch takes it low for ball two, but there's very few clubs in any level of professional baseball that have fielding, hitting, and pitching all functioning on full cylinders at the same time, so we're not unique in that regard. A pitch squirted foul off to the right, and the count even to Flint. 2-2. 2 away after the leadoff walk and double play here in the Kernels' 7th. Kernels right in the game, down 4-0. Flint Whipkey waits patiently as Sidlowski steps off. This by far the most impressive performance of the season for starter Kyle Sidlowski. Flint takes strike three called. In the 7th inning, no runs for the Kernels, a leadoff walk. There were no hits, no swing errors, a double play, and the Kernels leave. The base is empty and have stranded 2. This big crowd at John O'Donnell Stadium on their feet for the singing of Take Me Out to the Ball Game during the 7th inning stretch. As we head to the home half of the 7th, it's Quad Cities 4, the Kernels nothing. You're listening to Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
We're here for your communication needs. Internet service, telephone, and TV. As a cooperative telephone company, our members are owners who make us a team. Service second to none. South Slope Cooperative Communication.
Are you looking to take your baseball or softball game to the next level? The premier place to do it is Perfect Game, located across the street from Veterans Memorial Stadium. Perfect Game's professional baseball and softball instructors will help improve your pitching, hitting, throwing, fielding, and base running abilities in Iowa's premier training facility. For the best individual baseball and softball instruction and training, visit Perfect Game. That's Perfect Game, just a fly ball away from Veterans Memorial Stadium.
When it comes to making buying decisions, people let their fingers do the walking through Yellow Book Yellow Pages. It's no wonder. Yellow Book's packed with ads, coupons, restaurant menus, and more. Delivering to homes and businesses throughout the area, Yellow Book combines the features consumers want with advertising rates business owners can afford. To place your ad, call 1-800-YB-YELLOW. That's 1-800-YB-YELLOW. Yellow Book, not the other book.
We have a call to the Kernel bullpen as the swing bats in the bottom of the 7th, holding a 4-0 lead. This call to the Kernel bullpen sponsored by U.S. Cellular. Get your wireless relief with Call Me Minutes, only from U.S. Cellular. Tim Madison, 1-3 this year, on for the 15th time out of the Kernel bullpen with a pair of saves, takes over for Moose Mosebach. Moose had one bad inning tonight, the 5th. He went 6 innings total, allowed 4 runs on 9 hits, 5 of them in that fateful 5th inning. Moose struck out 2, walked none, and hit a batter. And Tim Madison is working for the first time since last Sunday at home. He was the loser to Kane County in 11 innings, 3-2. Tim went an inning and 2/3 and allowed a run on 3 hits, struck out none, walked none. Luis Cotto is the first batter for Quad Cities, and a strike on the outside corner from Madison. Kernels have been blanked over 7 innings tonight on 2 hits and have only 12 hits in the series so far. A bouncer to short, charged by Stacia. Heinley had to reach down to his left to prevent a bad hop from getting past him, and he throws out Luis Cotto. Boy, that Heinley Stacia to me is an all-star. He runs the bases well, and he has fielded almost flawlessly this entire first half. Second on the team, only to Jordan Renz with 13 doubles. Heinley is possesses great baseball instinct or intellect. He knows how to play the game. Ooh, a changeup just missed outside to Daniel Nelson. One away here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And the Kernels are down 4-0. There's a curve for a strike called, and it's 1-1 to Nelson. When we entered this season, I just didn't think this ball club would have to scratch and claw for every run. Here's a line shot foul into the Kernel right field bullpen. Of course, Pat Riley, you have to take into account the Kernel leading hitter was promoted at age 24 up to Rancho Cucamonga almost 5 weeks ago, and the Kernels just haven't been able to fill the void created by Pat Riley's promotion. With that said, though, this ball club has been in every game but one this season. A grounder to the base of the second baseman, and Larry Infante reaches down at his shoe tops and makes the play for the second out of the inning. Nelson thrown out by Larry Infante. When you assess a ball club and get to see them every day in and day out, you see trends, and one of the things you hope to see is improvement. And the Kernels have certainly been helped as much as possible by the staff. This staff has worked with the guys tirelessly as a team and as individuals to try to make some strides, but it is not an easy game to master. If it was, we would all be out there in uniform, wouldn't we? Here's a high drive into deep left center. Kuhn on the run, and it's over the head of Brad to the base of the left center field wall. Streaking past second is Jose Martinez. Now he does a halt. He slams the brakes on and goes back to second. How about Jose Martinez? He has 3 hits tonight. He socks a double into the left center field gap. I've had to learn never to give up on Brad Kuhn the way he can get after those fly balls, but Brad just couldn't get to that one, and Jose Martinez has a double, and that's the 10th hit of the game for the Swing. Bryan Anderson has a 2-hit night. He's 2 for 3. He singled and scored in that Quad Cities 4-run 5th inning. Tim Madison's changeup is low for ball 1. Tim is one of those guys you root for because he's such an upbeat, positive, hard-working kid. A strike at the knees, a throw to second, the runner out! Spectacular peg by Brett Martinez to Heinle Stacia. Jose Martinez was gunned out, and that gives the Kernels a lift as they head to the dugout, ready to bat in the top of the 8th inning. Jose Martinez took too great a liberty off second, and Brett Martinez whipped the throw down to Stacia, and it went 2-6 to pick off Martinez. No runs in the 7th for Quad Cities, 1 hit. There were no Kernel errors. The Swing leave, nobody on. Kernels come to bat in this fast-moving game. Top of the 8th inning, the Swing lead it 4-0. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
When it comes to auto insurance, Westside Agency in Palo, your professional Pekin insurance agency, will make certain you're properly insured with the right coverages and deductibles. Westside Agency will tell you about the money-saving discounts from Pekin Insurance. Multi-car discount, good student discount, loss-free discount, 45-plus auto discount, auto home discount, low mileage discount. To see if you qualify for any of these auto discounts that will lower your premiums, visit Westside Agency in Palo.
Peck's Flower and Garden Shop knows that your spring planting season is probably in full gear now or will be shortly. And for the very best plant selection in the area and all the free expert advice you'll need to make your plants grow their very best, visit Peck's. Peck's Flower Shop and Garden Center has a knowledgeable expert staff that's ready to answer not only your plant and gardening questions, but if your spring planting includes new landscaping, Peck's will give you a free an estimate. Choose your landscaping plants and trees from Peck's acres of expertly cared for trees, shrubs, evergreens, and perennial plants. Peck's Flower Shop and Garden Center and Landscaping. They're at the corner of Blair's Ferry and Edgewood Road Northeast. They've been growing with the Cedar Rapids area for 50 years. Mark Trumbo will lead it off for the Kernels here in the top of the 8th inning against right-hander Kyle Sedlowski. Mark takes outside for ball 1. Now a swing and a miss by Trumbo on a good changeup. Well, Sedlowski deserves the success he's achieved so far tonight through 7 innings. He struck out 4 and walked only 1, pitched around an error in the 7th, 6th inning. Mark Trumbo grounds one right to the first baseman, Adam Rogers. Adam has it and tags the base. 1 out here in the 8th inning. Trumbo was the first Colonel to reach against this right-hander, Kyle Sedlowski. Mark singled to left on the ground with 2 out in the 5th inning. 1 of 2 Colonel hits so far tonight. Stantrell Smith is grounded to second and struck out. The swing does have a right-hander in their bullpen as ball 1 drifts inside as the Colonel right-handed batter, Stantrell Smith. Very difficult to read the numbers of the swing in their road uniforms tonight. We'll take a look at double-barreled action in the Quad City bullpen. 2-0 now to Stantrell. And Smith tips one foul behind the plate. Lots of action this afternoon on the State Farm Major League scoreboard. We'll review those scores with you and then have all the night games as part of our Colonel Curtain Call. Sedlowski's 2-1. Outside, ball 3 to Stantrell Smith. The reason it's tough to read those swing numbers, A, they're far down the left field line. B, the front digit, the first digit, is smaller than the second. Here's a high drive into shallow center. Coming on is Simon Williams, and Simon has it for the second out here in the Colonel 8th inning. Simon Williams has 5 putouts in center field tonight. The 2 right-handers for the swing, one of them is second in the league in appearances with 20, John Mykrit. John Mykrit and Brian Stitt are warming up for Quad Cities, and for the Colonels, Chris Howell warming up. Howell will likely pitch the bottom of the 8th inning. Big cut by Brett Martinez, and he misses strike 1. Well, whatever your Memorial Day weekend includes, I hope it involves family, relaxation, and, most importantly, taking time to pause and give thanks to all those men and women throughout the decades and centuries that have given the ultimate sacrifice, their life, for our country's freedoms that you and I cherish but oftentimes take for granted. An 0-2 pitch is a sidearm delivery. I don't know why Sedlowski decided to just reach into his bag of tricks and show that pitch. He's had plenty of success with his conventional release point. 1-2 to Brett Martinez, who reached on an error leading off the 6th inning. Brett knuckles it foul off his foot. Sedlowski didn't know that it had been fouled off Brett's foot, so he pounced on it in foul ground to make sure it was foul. My uncle served in the Battle of the Bulge in 1945 and 1944 and 45 and helped liberate the concentration camps at Dachau. And just recently, in his mid-80s, has been able to talk about it. He used to sleep on the hood of his half-track to stay warm at night in the German forest. And he's one of millions that have served our country. Memorial Day. It means a lot. I remember several years ago at the Christmas table talking to my brothers and sisters during the prosperity of the late 90s and saying, guys, do you ever think there'll be another war? Little did we know, did we? About this modern dilemma of people trying to extract our liberties through force and terror. Here's a high fly ball into center. And Brett Martinez is retired by who else? Simon Williams. Let me double check, but that should be 6 putouts for the swing center fielder tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 putouts for Simon Williams. And the Kernels go in order in the top of the 8th inning. After 7.5 here in Davenport, the Swing lead it 4-0. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to the ballpark every Wednesday this season. You heard right. Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to Veterans Memorial Stadium every Wednesday this season. The first 750 of you Kernel fans to enter the gates before Wednesday's home game will receive an envelope full of money inside from Fairfax State Savings Bank. Each of those 750 envelopes will contain a greenback up to a $100 bill. Fairfax State Savings Bank, free money Wednesdays. Come early to line your pocket with cash.
Meet Jim. When it's nice out, he spends weekends in his yard trying to kill weeds.
Gotcha.
Meet Dave. He spends weekends on the green. That's because Greg's Lawn Service takes care of his lawn. Mowing, fertilizing, pruning, and, yep, weed control. Greg's does the big jobs, too. Landscaping, retaining walls, curb edging, and patios. So when you've had enough of those little devils...
Aha! Yes!
Call 393-0101. Greg's Lawn Service, a cut above the rest.
Hi, I'm Tanya Sedlock, your local Pekin insurance agent at Andrews Insurance here in Cedar Rapids. We all know how quickly life can change. You buy a new car or a new home. Your family is blessed with a new baby. Your teenager starts driving the family car. I'm here to help with a complete line of insurance plans to give you protection when you need it the most. Pekin Insurance has been in business of insuring people for 85 years. I'm here to put your interests first. Please visit me, Tanya Sedlock, at the Andrews Agency.
Our second U.S. Cellular call to the Kernel bullpen has right-hander Chris Howell working the bottom of the 8th inning. 4-0 Quad Cities. They scored all 4 of the game's runs in the 5th inning off starter Moose Mosebach. And the Kernels have been rather listless as far as their offense goes tonight. And that's a credit to Kyle Sadlowski, who has gone a career-high 8 innings, blanking the Kernels on 2 hits. Well, Chris Howell's a delightful kid out of the University of Tennessee. We'll share a funny story with you. Todd Brummelkamp and I got a kick out of it last night on our drive home after the 3-2 win. The Kernels were loose and in a good state of mind. As we approached the Shoeyville exit on 380, we smelled a skunk. And everybody smelled a skunk late at night. Well, the fellas from down south, Aldridge and Chris Howell, said, "No, fellas, that's no skunk. That's a polecat." And they were adamant that a polecat, if you hunt one down, is pretty good eating down south. They called it vittles. Here's a high pop foul off to the left by Bryan Anderson. It's 2 balls, 1 strike. Chris Howell last worked a week ago, Saturday, in a Kernel loss to Kane County. Chris was terrific. He pitched 3 shutout innings in relief of injured starter Kelly Shear, allowed only 2 hits in 3 innings, fanned 6 Cougars, and walked 3. Chris Howell on the hill here in the 8th inning. Bryan Anderson zaps one into right center, and Kuhn slides and makes a sensational catch in right center field. Bryan Anderson made a bid for his 3rd hit of the night, but it was thwarted on a running catch into right center by Brad Kuhn, who I think has played all-star baseball here in the first half. 1 gone here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Get your wireless relief with Call Me Minutes only from U.S. Cellular. Randy Roth lines one at the feet of Stantrell Smith. Stantrell can't find it. and Randy Roth will pull into second. That may be an error on the Colonel left fielder. It was a sinking line drive, but Stantrell lost it or misjudged it, one of the two, and because this is a home game, I bet they'll give Roth a double. They do, but that should have been an error on Stantrell Smith. But as I say, whenever you play in the other team's park, you're going to really be at their mercy as far as generosity to their hitters. That was a misplay and left by Stantrell Smith, but the hometown scorekeeper has credited Randy Roth with a double. And you've got to have some integrity in this game. Todd Brummelkamp and I both agree that that was an error. Yes. Here's a high drive into shallow left. Stantrell on the run, has it. And back to second, Randy Roth ahead of Stantrell's throw. A.J. Van Slyke flies out down the line and left. 2 gone here in the 8th inning. We promised you a look at games from this afternoon on the State Farm Major League scoreboard. We're so late in this one, we're going to hold off on any night games, but this afternoon on the State Farm Major League scoreboard, at Rogers Center, the Blue Jays in 11 innings beat the White Sox 3-2. At Yankee Stadium, the New Yorkers mauled the Royals 15-4. In the National League on the State Farm Major League scoreboard, the Cubs lost another one-run decision at home. Atlanta 2, the Cubs won at Wrigley today. The Dodgers knocked off the Nationals at RFK 3-1 this afternoon. And the Mets harpooned the Marlins 7-4 in Miami. Today in San Diego, it was the Cardinals nipping the Padres 4-3. A bouncer to the left side, backhanded by Stacia. Heinle rights himself and fires to first to get Adam Rogers. Terrific play by the Colonel shortstop. Had to go deep in the hole and then plant his feet, come straight over the top, and he got Adam Rogers. In the 8th inning, Chris Howell prevents the Swing from adding to their lead. No runs for Quad Cities. One hit, a disputed double that we thought should have been an error on the Colonel left fielder, but one hit. There were no Colonel errors, and Quad Cities leaves 1. They've stranded 5. Last call for the Colonels. We've been shut out through 8 innings on 2 hits, and the Colonels will face a new hurler in the top of the 9th inning. We'll tell you more about him in a moment. After 8, Quad Cities 4, the Colonels nothing. You're tuned to Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
There's a lot you can do to satisfy your taste for Italian. You can marry one.
Do you, Susan Smith, temperature setting for
You can drive one. Or you can go to Zio Giano's and feast on Zio's homemade bread, pizzas, and pasta, authentically prepared to Zio Giano's famous Italian style. Zio Giano's for the hometown taste of Italy.
Come to Zio Giano's, the pasta makes you sino. Come to Zio Giano's for Il Italiano. Come to Zio Giano's, the pasta.
What do I get at Cost Cutters? Hey, my hair is my trademark. I gotta be able to count on a good cut and stuff to keep my hair looking thick, even if it's not.
I get a good cut, no long wait, a smile, and a little something left over in my wallet.
I get little trims that keep my hair long and healthy, and stuff to make it loose and curly one day, straight and sassy the next.
With expert stylists trained in the latest trends and techniques and your favorite professional styling and hair care products, you'll always get what you're looking for at Cost Cutters. At Cost Cutters, you can always count on convenient, affordable, professional care and products that help you create just the style you want. At Cost Cutters, you'll always get a little more.
What do I get at Cost Cutters? A slick, clean cut, great highlights, and a little wig from the hottest stylist I've ever seen.
More of what you're looking for. Just
The Colonels will try to mount a rally here in the 9th against right-hander John Mykrit. And Larry Infante sprays the first pitch foul straight back. Larry was robbed of an extra base hit back in the 3rd and sacrificed himself with a bunt in the 6th inning. John Mykrit has come on. He was a shortstop at Northwestern, but he's among the league leaders in appearances. This is his 21st outing, and he misses low, ball 1 to Larry Infante. So Kyle Sadlowski with his best start in his young pro career. He went 8 innings and blanked the Colonels on 2 hits. Larry Infante drives it deep to left. Way back Van Slyke. A.J. makes a spectacular catch on the warning track. full out, reached up and took yet another extra base hit away from Larry Infante. What a defensive play by left fielder A.J. Van Slyke. Larry Infante showed remarkable power as he hit it deep into left, and it was caught on the run over the shoulder catch by A.J. Van Slyke. Well, maybe it's just not in the cards tonight for the Kernels to score a run. With that kind of defense, it leaves you scratching your head in utter bewilderment. Ball one is low and away to Heinle Statia. Kyle Sedlowski, in 8 innings, allowed no runs on 2 hits, struck out 4, walked 1. Mike Ritt's pitch is hammered into right for a 1-out single. Heinle Statia owns 2 of the Kernel 3 hits. Heinle wrapped it into right, 1 on, 1 out here in the 9th inning, as the Kernels try to put together a rally. John Mikrut, M-I-K-R-U-T, out of Northwestern. 1-1 on the year, 1 save. He's pitched 23 in the 3rd innings in 20 previous appearances, allowed 12 hits in 23 and a 3rd, struck out 22 in 23 and a 3rd, walked 8. The league hitting 148 against the right-hander, who misses low. Ball 1 to Brad Kuhn. Brad, 0 for 3 tonight. Reached all 4 times up last night. 4-0 swing. We're in the top of the 9th inning. Ball 2 is high and away to Kuhn. The Kernels have to have a great sense of relief that Kyle Sedlowski, the starter, has been lifted. Fastball is high and outside. Ball 3. John Mikrut is from Evanston, Illinois. The Cardinals signed him as a non-drafted free agent. He's 23 years old. And he delivers a strike called to Brad Kuhn, who may take another pitch. Daniel Nelson is playing only 3 feet from the line, even with the base at third. Kuhn fouls the 3-1 straight back. Brad got his money's worth on that hack. This game in the 9th inning is only an hour and 53 minutes old. The runner goes, Statia, and Kuhn fouls it back again. One subpar inning by Kernel starter Moose Mosebach is the difference in the game. A 4-run fifth for Quad Cities. They lead it 4-0 here in the 9th. There goes Heinle, a swing and a miss. Statia steals second, although the official score will probably rule it catcher's indifference, but I'm going to credit Heinle with the stolen base. Brad Kuhn fans on a 3-2 pitch, and there are 2 out here in the Kernel 9th inning. ...2003 here tonight. They've seen the swing out-hit the Kernels 11-3, and Quad Cities leads the game 4-0 with 2 out in the 9th. A swing and a miss on a slider by Jordan Renz. Quad Cities is trying to take the season series lead against the Kernels. The teams have split the first 6 games. And this big crowd of over 2,000 comes alive. Jordan Renz on an 0-1 pitch. Takes it, strike 2, a slider. The Kernels had 5 hits Thursday night, 5 hits last night, 3 hits tonight. The 0-2, swing and a miss, strike 3, and Quad Cities wins it 4-0. In the 9th inning, no runs for the Kernels. 1 hit. Outstanding defensive play in left by A.J. Van Slyke. There were no swing errors, and the Kernels leave 1, stranded 3. And a very, very anemic offense tonight by the Kernels. In fact, the entire series, the Kernels have only 13 hits in the first 3 games of this 4-game set. Tonight, Kyle Sedlowski is to be commended. He went 8 innings and blanked the Kernels on 2 hits, and Jonathan Mikrut came in and worked the 9th to preserve the swing shutout victory. We'll have the totals, highlights, and more next on the Kernel Curtain Call here on the Kernel Radio Network.
Next up, a musical taste of Dr. Pepper. It's a new spin on an old vibe from me to you. A tasty sip of Dr. Pepper for your ears, and it starts like this.
I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, she's a pepper, we're a pepper, wouldn't you like to be a pepper?
Now that's cool, but pepper is a little better. So let's slide in a taste of this.
I'm a pepper,
Right on. But there's still more to it. I mean, there's nothing like it, because every sip is a kick and mash up of 23 different flavors. So for the true taste of Dr. Pepper, we dial it up even more.
I'm a pepper.
You know it. With 23 flavors mixed into one bold taste, every sip is a cool mix of music to your mouth. Woo! Dr. Pepper, there's more to it.
Your home is a place for savoring all the good things in life. It's a place for celebrations. It's a place where memories are created. To make sure your home is properly insured, visit Sheets Forest Draper in Marion, your professional Pekin insurance agency. Sheets Forest Draper will give you all important details about homeowners insurance with complete coverages and surprisingly affordable rates. Visit Sheets Forest Draper in Marion for homeowners insurance for your well-lived and well-loved home.
It's time for the Kernels Curtain Call. Now, with a game recap, a complete look at the State Farm scoreboard, and a look ahead to upcoming action, let's rejoin the voice of the Kernels, John Rogers.
And welcome back. This game only took an hour and 56 minutes, so we're at the top of the hour here in the zone, and we want to remind you that you're enjoying Kernel Baseball on ESPN Radio 1600, KCRG Cedar Rapids. Quad Cities takes a 2-1 lead in this series behind 21-year-old right-hander Kyle Sadlowski. He had all his pitches working for him this evening. In fact, he retired the first 14 Kernels he faced. Mark Trumbo was the first Kernel to reach with a 2-out ground ball single to left in the 5th inning. Meanwhile, Moose Mosebach pitched in and out of trouble the first several innings, got a couple of big double plays. An infield single in the 5th inning by Simon Williams started what would be the only run-scoring frame of the evening. After Williams' infield single, Chad Gabriel slugged his first home run of the season, and that made it 2-0. Moose Mosebach got the next two Kernel batters, or the next two swing batters, but then Jose Martinez singled into right. Bryan Anderson singled into right, sending Martinez to second. Then Randy Roth, with 2 outs, belted a double over the head of left fielder Stantrell Smith, scoring both Martinez and Anderson, and the swing led it 4-0. The Kernels had a chance to make some noise in the 6th inning. Brett Martinez reached on the only error of the night by shortstop Luis Cotto to start the Kernels' 6th inning. Larry Infante tried to drag a bunt single up the first base line. It was good enough for a sacrifice bunt. And then the key play in the game, offensively for the Kernels, Heinle Stacia singled into right. The ball skipped past Chad Gabriel. Simon Williams was backing it up. Because Martinez wasn't sure if the ball hit by Stacia would fall, he stayed near the base at second. He was waved home. The throw went to second. The swing thought Stacia would try to stretch his single into a double, and the swing man at second, the shortstop Luis Cotto, whirled and threw home and got Brett Martinez, and that out essentially deflated the Kernels to the point of no return as the swing blanked us 4-0. The final line score, Quad Cities 4 runs, 11 hits, 1 error. They left 5. The Kernels no runs on 3 hits, no errors, and we stranded only 3. The winning pitcher was Kyle Sadlowski. He's now 3-1. The Kernel loser, Moose Mosebach, is now 3-3. The game only took an hour and 56 minutes, and 2,003 were here to see the swing blank the Kernels. We'll be back in just a moment here on the Kernel Curtain Call with our PRC play of the game. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to the ballpark every Wednesday this season. You heard right. Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to Veterans Memorial Stadium every Wednesday this season. The first 750 of you Colonel fans to enter the gates before Wednesday's home game will receive an envelope full of money inside from Fairfax State Savings Bank. Each of those 750 envelopes will contain a greenback up to a $100 bill. Fairfax State Savings Bank, free money Wednesdays. Come early to line your pocket with cash.
There's a lot you can do to satisfy your taste for Italian. You can marry one.
To you, Susan Smith, temperature 7419.
You can drive one. Or you can go to Zio Giano's and feast on Zio's homemade bread, pizzas, and pasta, authentically prepared as Zio Giano's famous Italian style. Zio Giano's for the hometown taste of Italy.
Come to Zio Giano's, the pasta makes you Zio. Come to Zio Giano's for real Italiano. Come to Zio Giano's, the pasta.
We're back at John O'Donnell Stadium, where the largest crowd of the series, 2003, saw the swing toy with the Colonel hitters tonight as Quad Cities wins it 4-0. The Kernels have just 13 hits in this series. Unfortunately, none of them home runs, but we want to remind you that PRC donates $25 for every Kernel home run hit this season to the Haycap Food Reservoir. It's PRC's Community Care Home Runs for the Hungry campaign. And thus far, the Kernels have knocked 28 out of the ballparks in the Midwest League for a total of $700 donated by PRC's Community Care to the Haycap Food Reservoir in their effort to help eliminate hunger in our community. PRC, a great, great partner with the Kernels and our community, the Haycap Food Reservoir. PRC also sponsors our play of the game. In the first inning, with the game scoreless, Jose Martinez singled to center. Bryan Anderson followed with a single. They were at first and second with one out, and cleanup hitter Randy Roth stood in against Moose Mosebach. Here's our PRC play of the game.
Just a beautiful summer-like evening here in Davenport. 2 on, 1 out for Quad Cities, and here's a drive smacked into center. Kuhn misjudged it, and it goes deep to center. Kuhn back and has it. Now Brad throws to second. Double play! Brad Kuhn has done it all in this series with the bat, on the bases, in the field. The toughest ball, they say, for a center fielder to gauge is one hit hard right at him. Kuhn broke in, then had to hustle back with his back to the plate. I thought the ball was going to sail over his head, and perhaps 2 runs would have scored. But Brad caught it. Remarkable speed and athleticism. Randy Roth's drive was caught, and then, well, Jose Martinez thought the same thing I did. Martinez thought no way could Kuhn make up that ground when he misjudged it and broke in, but Brad caught it and then whirled and threw a strike in the air to Larry Infante, and the double play goes 8-4 to end the swing first inning.
And that's why we chose it as our PRC play of the game. A job at PRC is a job you'll love. If you're looking for a job where you'll be a part of an amazing team that cares for your needs and gives you the ability to grow, visit PRC online, www.prcnet.com. We'll return. The final portion of our Colonel Curtain Call here from Davenport is just around the corner. A complete look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard. 4-0 swing. This is Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
The hottest feature in beautiful Veterans Memorial Stadium is the coolest place. It's the Whirling Waters Home Run Hot Tub. How can you and your friends relax and splash it up from the most coveted spot at the ballpark? Simply register at Center Point in Westdale Mall, and listen, if you're selected as the winner, you'll enjoy the ultimate entertainment experience. AquaJet Stream Comfort atop the left field wall in the Whirling Waters Home Run Hot Tub. Brought to you by Westdale Mall and by Whirling Waters. Your chance to splash it up.
Get ready for summer and beat high gas prices with a pre-owned vehicle from Randy Keel Honda. Their inventory is jam-packed with fuel-efficient vehicles designed to save you money. Get an economical sedan for your daily commute, or indulge your sporty side with a high-performance coupe. Randy Keel Honda carries a large selection of Honda certified pre-owned vehicles, backed by a 12-month, 12,000-mile comprehensive warranty and 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Need to haul the entire family? For a limited time, you can get special financing on Honda's certified pre-owned Odyssey. Whatever your driving needs, Randy Keel Honda has the vehicle for you. Visit Randy Keel Honda on Centerpoint Road Northeast or online at randykeel.com. Randy Keel Honda, where they treat you right.
Time now in Davenport for a complete look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard following a swing 4-0 shutout win over the Kernels tonight. State Farm insurance agents Gary Schubat, Dale Thompson, Brad Dunn, and Al Shetler bring us this complete look at the scores from around the major leagues, the State Farm Major League scoreboard. Let's begin in the National League. 4 finals this afternoon. At Wrigley Field, the Braves edged the Cubs 2-1. The Dodgers turned back the Nationals 3-1 in our nation's capital. This afternoon at Dolphin Stadium, it was the Mets 7 and Florida 4. And at Petco Park, the Cardinals trimmed the Padres 4-3. A final tonight from Great America Ballpark. The Diamondbacks shelled the Reds 7-0. In the top of the 9th inning at Citizens Bank Ballpark, the Brewers are ahead of the Phillies 9-6. Houston and the Pirates are tied at 6. Top of the 9th at PNC Park. And in the bottom of the 4th inning already at SBC Park, the Rockies won and the Giants won. 2 finals from this afternoon in the American League on the State Farm Major League scoreboard. First, in the Bronx, the Yankees dismantled the Royals 15-4. And at Rogers Center in 11 innings, it was the Blue Jays 3 and the White Sox 2. Tonight at Fenway Park, the Red Sox whipped the Devil Rays 6-4, and the Tigers have now won 15 of 16 in the Motor City at Comerica Park tonight. The Tigers scalped the Tribe 3-1. They're in the top of the 9th inning at the Metrodome, and the Twins hold a 9-5 advantage over the Mariners. Oakland leads the Rangers in the bottom of the 7th at Ameriquest Field 6-3. And the Major League debut of Angel first-round pick 2 years ago, Jared Weaver, will be on the hill for the Angels as our parent club hosts the Orioles. That one has yet to start. And thanks to State Farm insurance agents Gary Schubat, Brad Dunn, Al Shetler, and Dale Thompson, that's a complete look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard. Tonight, the swing out hit the Kernels 11-3. Quad City scored 4 runs in the 5th inning, the only 4 runs of the game, and the swing blanked the Kernels 4-0. We have a special treat for you tomorrow, a Memorial Day night game. We'll take the air here in the zone at 6:40 with the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show as the Kernels will try to break even in this series with Quad Cities. Tomorrow, a 7 o'clock first pitch and the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show at 6:40. 18-year-old Colonel right-hander Tommy Mendoza will be on the hill for the Kernels. Tonight, the Colonel offense was very meek and had only 3 hits, and the swing won it 4-0. Thanks for being with us. We'll greet you tomorrow at 6:40 here from John O'Donnell Stadium. Have a great rest of your Memorial Day weekend. This has been Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.